My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jacob and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 107 fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings Fantasy Plays. This is an event immediately following a week off. There's a lot of anticipation. People want fights to be back, and this card is all over the place. We had a couple fights canceled. We have a couple opponents that are fighting each other, and they're moving things all over the place, but we will get you through it. Before we break down this card, though, let's look at the future. The next 4 weeks have some pretty exciting fights on the horizon. We have UFC Vegas 107. Right after that, we have UFC 316. Merab officially defending his belt against Sean O'Malley, and he may or may not have a broken toe that he may or may not have to amputate to walk into that octagon. Then we have UFC Atlanta and UFC Baku. These 4 events are coming up, and you will have access to every single thing that we do for those 4 events, including the safety parlay. Safety parlay for this week is plus money, and it was a little tricky to be confident in the safety parlay this week. Look at what? A plus money safety parlay?
I'm just seeing a lot of green, man.
I'd say, hey, 6 of the last 7. 6 of the last 7. And last week, or last event, was a plus money safety parlay as well. Rooting for the boys.
If you haven't liked the stream already, I don't know what you're waiting for.
You bums. You absolute bums. Listen, we appreciate you hanging out with us on Memorial Day, and if you want to support the boys and unlock all of the tools, all the bets, all the insight, and everything.
If you want to support the troops.
Jacob, at one point in time, was a fake foreign adversary on an army base to help out the troops. So
you're welcome.
You can help out the man who helped out the troops by
I literally could have died at any moment in those reenactments. I mean, there was literal Humvees, literal tanks. And if I accidentally fall in front of one of those, guess what? This Memorial Day is about me.
It was funny because we had some people over yesterday. You were invited. You chose not to come. We had some people over yesterday, and a lot of people
When was I invited, by the way?
I have it in text.
At what time? At like 3 in the afternoon. Hey, by the way.
No, I think we decided early. When we decided, you got the invite. That's when we decided. It was an impromptu thing. This wasn't planned. Anyway, people were showing up in red, white, and blue, and I was like, guys, that's not the mood. We are remembering the fallen soldiers. This isn't 4th of July. This is a funeral.
Exactly. Yeah, you should be in black tie. It should be it should be mourning. It should be thoughtfulness. It should be
correct.
Remembrance, not get drunk with your buddies, not Indy 500 puking everywhere. Did you watch you didn't even know that. That's when, because you texted me. That's how I know it was like in the afternoon, because you're like, we'll put the race on. I'm like, the race is halfway over. What do you mean you're going to put the race on? The race is halfway over.
I invited you on Saturday. I said, I think tomorrow we're going to do whatever. And then you were like,
not a plan. I can't plan
so,
I think.
You're right. You're right. Because it was only a thought at that point. You said, LOL, have the Pacers, have the Indy 500. So then we made an official thing. I said, come over. I'll put the Pacers game on. We'll put the Indy 500 on. You're like, it already started.
It's halfway through. I'm sitting here watching.
That means there was 250 more laps.
There's only 200 total laps.
Why the fuck is it the Indy 500?
It's 500 miles.
I thought it was 500 laps.
No, each lap is 2.5 miles.
Oh, I thought it was 500 laps.
No.
I thought that's what the number meant on these things.
It's 500 miles, Angelo. It's the greatest spectacle in racing. Over 350,000 people in attendance. The most attended sporting event in the entire world. One of the most beautiful events of all time. Obviously, I'm from Indianapolis. I'm a little bit biased, but I've been a few times as a kid. Wild atmosphere. I will say, did I send you this picture as well? The craziest part about the Indy 500 is... just imagine, because I do have the picture. I went as a kid a few times. I never went as an adult, but I remember going as maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. First of all, Hoosier hospitality is one time I went with my dad. We had to stop along the way. Somehow when we stopped repacking the car, he forgot our cooler, which had all our food and drinks in it. So we get there and we're like, oh shit, we don't have any food, which is fine for him. But as a fucking kid, I'm not going to fucking survive. So he's like, he had like asked people around us, like, hey, does anybody have any food for my kid that he can eat? And literally everyone's like, yeah, here, take. You want ham? You want turkey? What do you want? Like, so who's your hospitality? Second of all, if you've never been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they do the bathrooms a little bit old school, right? There's not.
A trough?
It's not. Yeah, I mean, there's. Yeah, I mean, you cut off the punchline every time I'm trying.
Oh,
to
my bad. My bad. It blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, they don't update anything. The track is the track at all times. So just imagine, picture yourself, 8, 9 years old. You know how tall you are, 8, 9 years old, right? Especially me, right? You're walking into a bathroom with a bunch of drunk, grown, sweaty-ass men, and these are what you're standing next to. So I'm standing in between grown-ass, sweaty dicks at the troughs at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But if you've never been to the race, it's an incredible thing to go to at least once in your life. And I sat there and watched the race and then got ready for the Pacer game. The Pacers, shot one of the worst shooting performances of the year, 20% from three. I think quite literally the second worst shooting performance they've had the entire year, and they still should have and could have won that game. We're still up 2-1, right? We've lost game 3 in every series of the playoffs this year. We got game 4 tomorrow night. We win that, it's over. Even if we don't win that one, oh my God, we're not going to win another game in New York City. Fuck out of here. We went game 7 last year in New York City and smoked their asses. It's no issue. I have tickets to game 6, so honestly, I'm kind of excited that we lost that game because it's probably going to go to 6, and I'm going to watch them win the East while I'm there Saturday night. And I'll also be checking my phone and seeing that we're hitting all these bets for premium. So make sure you go to WeWantPicks.com today. It's only $10 a month. Support the movement. It's going to be hot this summer. I'll tell you that. It's going to be fucking steaming hot. The safety parlay's hot. The lock of the week's about to get hot. Lock of the week. The last card lost, but there was only one dog on the entire card that won, so it is what it is, one of those weeks. But Saturday night, I think it's going to be a great night for all of us. So WeWantPicks.com, $10 a month. And
Jakey plugs. Jakey pause. We also have the app. Download the app, turn on push notifications. I sent you notification a few hours ago. Jacob put some bets on the board. I put some new bets on the board, including the plus money safety parlay. And you got a push notification saying bets are up. You checked them out. If you liked them, you tailed. If you didn't, that's fine. You moved on. But you knew about it before the odds got a little unreasonable. The app is free and available right now in the App Store. Just search We Want Picks. And UFC 316 is not this card, but the next card. We'll be filming a vlog, eating the food, cooking the things, reading the letters. If you want to send something for the vlog, the address is We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. We do have a super chat, $1.99 from Christian Baller. He says, can we all agree this is the greatest card ever? Listen, Christian, I see the sarcasm. I read it. I appreciate the super chat, but we just had a Saturday with no fights. How was it? How was it? Because I'll tell you, I prefer Saturdays with fights. So I'll take this over nothing.
I had a pretty good
And honestly, it was kind of nice not having the film. It was kind of
what's funny too is, which you don't understand any of this because you don't watch any of the sports, but because the entire discourse of like MMA Twitter and the thought of like all these cards and how people talk about the UFC lately is like everyone's so negative, right? Every card is like, oh, this is shit card, shit main event, shit matchup, shit this, failing sport, gonna fail. And as you start getting into like the NBA Twitter as well, like through the playoffs and stuff like that, you realize that that's like every sport. Like that's just like the online, because I mean, like the NBA Twitter is like the same thing. Like, oh fuck, shit this. If it's Pacers and Thunder, nobody's ever gonna watch. Oh my God, Pacers and Knicks. Game 1 of Pacers Knicks was like one of the most watched Eastern Conference game 1s of like all time and stuff like that. But if you look at Twitter, you would think the NBA is completely failing and everything's shit and all that stuff. So it's just funny how that's just like throughout all sports.
Negativity sells. I mean, look at thumbnails. Find me a positive thumbnail. Like negativity sells. It's just that's the environment we're in.
You're like this on all of them.
I'm loving life, man. Or I fake it till I make it. Either way, all smiles from Big Ange. And nothing's gonna make me happier than breaking down this fight. Opening up.
just before we get into it real quick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Love to.
Because I noticed you and what's his fucking name?
Bet Sam. Josh.
No, is it Josh?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm just naming people.
The guy that you were doing the live stream with last week on like Monday or something. Was it Sunday or Monday? What's his name?
Yes, I believe his name was Josh.
Jordan?
Yes,
Josh?
I believe so. Yes.
Apparently you guys heard thunder and shut down the stream, and I just was looking at the radar, and I just want to make sure that we're going to tough that out tonight if that happens.
Listen, first of all, if you watch the stream, you saw Tiffany bust in here and say, I got to go. The sirens were blaring, okay? And the tornado was heading towards us.
You know that the biggest difference from moving to Texas is in Indiana, they don't sound those sirens unless there's a visible tornado on the ground and it's like, get the fuck out of here. Here's the sirens. Here,
these aren't tornado sirens.
Yeah,
these are
just like
severe weather sirens.
If there's lightning, whoever controls that fucking button is like, oh, I think it's Tiffany that fucking controls that button. Because if there's a little bit of clap of thunder, all of a sudden there's fucking tornado sirens throughout the entire city. I'm sitting there like, what are we doing?
They do sound it. I will say that was the annoying part about that is like, so Tiff went to the closet. The girls went to the closet. I stayed in the living room. I'm like, if it gets bad, I'll come to the closet. I'm not hanging out in the closet. The annoying part about it is like the radar, the weather guy, like they're like, this is rotating. Here's the path that it's on. And it's like, all right, Frisco, Prosper. Like it's right there. It's on the way. The power didn't even flicker. And the weather guy is like, it is breaking apart. The spirals are getting wider. That is a good thing. But the power didn't even flicker. Meanwhile, last night from 2:30 to 5:30, that power was on and off the whole time.
The chance of you getting hit by a tornado is like getting hit by lightning. It is unreal. Look at the size of everything. And most tornadoes are like the width of a parking lot. It's like, what? Every time it's thundering, you're going to go to the fucking closet for an hour and a half, 2 hours? What are we doing?
She was so mad. She was so mad at me because she came in at first and she was like when the sirens were going off, she came in and she's like, we got to go. And I said, I'm fine. And I just kept filming. And then Josh got the alert on his phones and it was like, all right, this is starting to get serious now. And then she was like, I am so mad at you. I was like, what? She was like, I said I needed help with the girls, and you said you're fine. I was like, I didn't hear that. I thought you were telling me to stop filming.
Like
I would have just continued to film.
Like if you're worried about a tornado destroying your house and killing you, you should be much more worried about other like random things in life. Like you should be like not eating red meat. You should be not doing this. But you'll stuff your face full of red meat and then hide in the closet for a thunderstorm.
I didn't go in the closet, for the record. I stayed in the family room.
You sent me a video of you in the closet with your family.
I sent a video of the closet, not me in it.
You in the closet filming your daughter saying, is Jacob going to die?
Oh, because...
Did Jacob die? You were in the closet. Yes or no? Were you in the closet filming that video?
I was.
While your daughter was bawling her eyes out saying, is Jacob dead?
No, the funniest part about that is... Tiffany had the iPad in the closet. I was watching TV in the family room, just watching the weather. And then it said, it's going to Frisco in 5 minutes, severe, whatever. And then my youngest daughter goes, doesn't Jacob live in Frisco? We said, yeah. She goes, bye-bye, Jacob. She literally said, bye-bye, Jacob. It was unbelievable. But then I tried to, obviously I wasn't filming that. So then I was like, wait, say it again. What did you just say about Jacob? You can't recreate those moments.
While you were in
bye-bye, Jacob.
There you go.
Visiting the closet.
I visited
the closet. I was visiting the closet. Opening up the UFC Vegas 107 fight card, we have Rayanne dos Santos taking on Alice Ardelean. You may know her as Rayanne Amanda, but you also may know that she is 14-8 in her career. She is 3-2 in her last 5. She is on a 2-fight skid, and yet she is somehow a 3-1 favorite taking on Alice Ardelean. Also 3-2 in her last 5. She is looking for her first win and 9-7 in her career. We have a tale of 2 women here. One of them is a social media superstar. The other one is an actual professional fighter trying to pursue that career. And that one is Rayanne Amanda or Rayanne Dos Santos. She's an aggressive grappler. She's got fluid striking. She's incredibly light on her feet. She will just move forward and constantly do something. She does not get overly aggressive with the wrestling, but when she gets it to the ground, she's got a great balance of ground and pound as well as positions over submission. She'll keep the pressure. She will stay busy. She also just got robbed. I thought she beat Pooja Tamar in that fight. The reality is she didn't wrestle as much as she should have, but she moved forward. She was busy with the striking. I just thought that was a bad decision. She's taking on Alice Ardelean. The UFC signed Alice Ardelean because of her social media presence. But the reality is she's also a pretty fun fighter, and that's why she's still on the roster. She'll fight. She'll get in your face. She'll try to make stuff happen. The skills don't necessarily line up to the pressure or the toughness, but Alice Ardelean is down to fight. Her record is 9-7. That's a lot of losses for somebody that early in their career, but some of those losses are to quality opponents like Weili Zhang, Diana Belbita. She is coming off that decision loss to Melissa Martinez where we saw the pressure, we saw the toughness. We also saw that she got saved by a referee mistake in the third round. She got kicked.
I was hot, too. I was at that fight. I was
because you were like, that's not a low blow.
Keith! Because Keith is the one that fucking called it, and then they replayed it, and they had to replay it like 3 times, and then Keith is like, it's like, we're restarting. That's a TKO, first of all. Like, what do you mean
yeah,
we're restarting the fight? She collapsed. The fight was stopped. I don't care if he thought it was clear that fight was over, and you're going to restart the fight? Like, what the fuck? Because that was a 30-27 for Melissa, but the live odds had that for, because I rewatched that fight, I think the live odds in the third round had it like minus 300 for Alice. So people thought that Alice was like winning that fight for whatever reason. It's like, holy shit.
Forward, just blind forward pressure.
Yeah, it's like, Keith.
Yeah. No, and the reality is Alice is tough. She was saved in that fight. I don't think she wins this fight, but I do think these odds are crazy. Because while Alice is not a very skilled fighter, Rayanne is the more skilled across the board. The better striker, the better grappler, should win this fight. But Alice is tough. She will move forward. You could get some blind cage control. And she can end up working. She's she's talking on Instagram about a 3-month fight camp. So maybe she shows up in phenomenal shape, pushes a better pace, steals around. I think a plus 3.5 might be a decent bet here, but Rayanne Dos Santos at minus 300 seems crazy, but she is going to be the pick because I just don't think Alice has the actual skills and would be relying entirely on toughness. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that breakdown. Rayanne is the better fighter. She really wants to get to the wrestling, but hasn't really been able to in the last 2 fights. Honestly, this fight not going the distance at plus 300 or I think under 2.5 is like a plus 325 or something like that. I think that's pretty good value because you're looking at these last fights that these girls have fought. Rayanne against Pooja, who wants to just kind of dance around and sidekick and stays away from you. Rayanne is a girl that wants to stay in your face. She's walking girls down. You look at Alice Ardelean, is the same type of fighter. She fought Melissa Martinez, who's a taekwondo, karate, bouncing around. She fought Shauna Bannon, who's a bounce around, run away from you type girl. Both these girls want to get in. They want conflict. They want to throw down. In those exchanges, Rayanne might be able to find some of those takedowns that she's looking for. Alice is also, somewhat capable on the ground. I think these girls really get after early. They are the type of fighter that each of them wants to fight because they each want to get in each other's face and kind of counter strike. It's going to be who can hold the center of the octagon. I think Rayanne is going to be able to do that a little bit better. And if not, I would not be surprised if we see a finish. I know a lot of early cards, these female fights, we've seen some random finishes that you don't really expect. I think there could be one here because you see a lot of decisions from both these girls in the last few fights, but that's not really their fault. They're the ones moving forward. Even Rayanne against Toledo. Toledo's just like a fucking tank, right? I mean, she was gassed or whatever. Probably could have been finished, but she's just like a fucking durable tank. Both these girls are tough in their own right, but I think they're really going to get in both of each other's faces, and we'll see what happens. I got to go Rayanne because a little bit more ways to win, a little bit cleaner of the striker, but honestly, I thought Melissa Martinez was going to fucking style on Alice. I was very high on Alice. She did win a 30-27, but being at that fight, watching that fight, I came away from that being like, holy shit, Alice is a fucking tough girl. She's going to hang in there. She's going to, put herself out there, and, it is what it is. But I think there's going to be a random finish, and I like Rayanne to maybe get that done.
Yeah, listen, I didn't touch the over here. A patented Angelo over is take the ladies' fights and just parlay the hell out of them. Or safety parlay for a lady over. This wasn't one of those. Because Even if we go back to the last event, UFC Vegas 106, there were 3 lady fights. 2 of them finished inside the distance. And one of them, the over was minus 450. That was not supposed to happen. This feels very similar to Jacob's point. 2 sloppy women who are going to move forward. You may get a random finish in the mix here.
7, 8,
what are we counting?
7 of these fights are favored to go over 2.5 rounds. And it just feels like on those type of cards, that's where you get your finishes. I don't know why, but it just feels like this could be one of those weird cards.
If you are a premium member and you go to analysis in the menu and then click on round leans, you'll see a chart. Every fight on the card, what the round line is, and then me, Artem, Betsam, if we think it'll go over or under. I was typing out over almost every time. I was like, over.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's over. It's like, this is probably over. Now, obviously, they're not all going to go over, and we're going to get some flash finishes that we don't expect. But if I'm looking at it, I have to work off what I expect, and I expect most of these fights to go over.
Have you ever finished with just a flash?
Too many times.
We're doing mince in the mouth, huh? It's good for podcasting.
It's almost done. It's a lozenge. My throat's a little raw. I had the weed alcohol yesterday.
Did you want to talk about that at all?
I had weed alcohol, and it hit me like weed. Shocking.
Did you want to talk about some of the texts you were sending last night?
I think the texts were just, I can't believe this actually worked.
I can't believe it's not bother.
Like, genuinely, I do. I genuinely, we just went to the liquor store.
You were sending like the most like.
I was straight up high like a teenager.
I know. Like it was like, I'm reading them because I was a little high too. And I'm just reading them like this fucking dude just fucking, that one, because you said, you were talking to me and web guy Josh in our group chat. And then you made it a point to go to the other group chat and said like the same thing. I'm like, Jesus, man, go to bed. Like fucking,
the reason I did that is
sitting there just fucking rambling on. I'm like, oh my God.
The reason I did that is because somebody in that other group, I don't want to say names, just somebody in that other group chat, and these are perfectly legal. I bought it at the liquor store. Somebody in that other group chat last time they were over, when Tiffany ran to the store, was like, oh, get me some of those THC beers. So that's why I put it in there, because I'm like, oh, he likes these. It wasn't a beer. It was a bottle. It looks like a bottle of liquor, but it's THC. It's 100
hemp-derived THC.
You say that, but it's straight up. It says THC.
It's hemp-derived THC. Here's the text. And this is how I knew, right? Angelo at 11 o'clock last night says,
and wait, hold on, real quick. I don't partake. My body has no tolerance for THC.
You're gonna be,
I don't partake.
It's going to be very clear that you aren't normally high because these are the texts Angelo said. Guys, weed booze got me fucked up. 2 shots after drinking all day and I'm high as fuck. And I said, doubtful. Right. I said, doubtful. And this is how you prove that you were high. To the point that I thought I sent that second text to you hours ago. I came back to see if you replied and noticed I'd sent it to the wrong trail. I said, oh, yeah, I'm sure it was true. But I'm like, oh, wow. So my response was, oh, wow, yeah, so high. Forgot about a text. My gracious, praying for your safety. And then you sent the screenshot, like, proving your point of, like, that, yeah, look, I actually did forget. It's like, yeah, no kid. And then you said, I have what they call, quote, cotton mouth. I said, wow, man, what are you going to do? And you said, this is way better than any gummy or plant I've had. I said, call the cops on yourself or shut the fuck up. And then I said, quote, I'm so high, end quote, fucking high schooler.
Did I? It just blew my mind.
It's like such a teenager thing.
Agreed.
Just to be like, bro, dude, I'm so hot.
Dude, agreed. And the chat is misunderstanding what's happening here. This guy's like, oh, Angelo has weed. It wasn't weed. It was alcohol. It's not even alcohol. It's THC. Hemp. It's THC.
It's hemp, THC, and CBD.
And you buy it 100% legally at the store.
For now.
There's nothing. Yeah, for now they're trying to pass on, but there's nothing illegal about it. This is at a major chain liquor store. Like it's a product on the shelves. It's not weed. You don't smoke it. It's not an edible. It is entirely 100% legal. That's why I was surprised. If it was just like you gave me a gummy that I shouldn't have, I wouldn't be surprised by the results.
Were acting like
this
you were
surprised
extremely high. It's like I've called the cops. I know what high is. I've called the cops on myself. This is what I said. I thought this was pretty funny because I actually was a little bit high as well, and I thought this was pretty funny. Stay with me on this one. I said, if you're not just because this is literally what I do when I get really high, if I'm not calling the cops on myself. I said, if you're not just standing in your kitchen staring at your phone for 45 minutes, then all of a sudden realize you've been standing in your kitchen on your phone doing nothing for 45 minutes, but then continue to stand there for another 30 minutes before putting yourself to bed, only to get into bed and realize it's only 8 p.m., but you're already there, so you just stay there. But then you watch TikToks for 30 minutes, but then you realize it's actually been 4 hours. And now it's 1 a.m. and you can't fall asleep because you've lost your high and you kind of have a headache, then you aren't actually really high.
Dude, I got there was a few of us that let's try it. It's legal. Let's try it. Whatever we got at the store. We were laughing like children. It was all the dumbest parts of being high. Just giddy as hell. I did get the side effects of cotton mouth and I scratched my head and it was numb. So it's this is...
You scratched your head and it was numb. Did you read that on the internet somewhere? Were you Googling?
That's what happens when I get that feeling. I'll go like this and it's kind of airy and numb. That's what happens to me. And that's what happened. It was crazy. Dude, it was crazy.
You sound like an undercover cop that Googled...
bags of sand.
You were on Reddit looking about how people talk about being high, and then you're just talking about it. This is your way to be I'm not a cop, guys.
I'm no narc. I was shocked because this wasn't a gummy. This was a perfectly legal liquid at the liquor store. And I just assumed it would do nothing. And I was like, whoa, I feel it. Blew my mind.
I still don't think it did anything. It was just fucking... And then I was trying to freak you out. I was sending you pictures of the Grim Reaper and stuff, and
no, I was giddy. It was all the best parts.
I was like, let's see if he really is high, and I was sending him pictures of the storms coming in and stuff.
Well, the storms were a problem because at 2:30 in the morning when it woke me up, I was like, "What?"
I said, if you were actually high for these storms about to come through in a couple hours, nothing like waking up high in the middle of the night in a panic. I've done that with fire alarms, and it takes 10 minutes to process what the fuck is happening. Then I sent the picture of the radar, and I said, death is coming for you, you sinner.
I didn't even do anything illegal. All perfectly legal under Texas state law.
Anyway.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have MarQuel Mederos taking on Bolaji Oki. MarQuel Mederos, 10-1 in his career. He is 5-0 in his last 5. He is on an 8-fight win streak, taking on Bolaji Oki. 9-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that insane come-from-ahead loss to Chris Duncan. MarQuel Mederos is a pretty talented kid. He's a very good striker. He strings together combinations well. He will put up some serious volume. He is very comfortable in his fights, and he flows really well. He's primarily a striker, but he can grapple. He's got some slick takedowns, good takedown defense as well. He's coming off that close win over Austin Hubbard where the striking looked good, and he was defensively sound, but he slowed down. He's taking on Bolaji Oki. Bolaji Oki is a busy striker as well. He's got a good jab, lots of power. He likes to pump that jab out and set things up and then will explode into combinations. He's got good takedown defense, a really fast sprawl, solid takedowns if he wants to use them. He also tends to slow down if a fight goes on, but he'll just remain dangerous because of that power. His biggest issue, however, is his defense, and somebody with a busy jab that can stay in his face can give him a little bit of a hard time. He's coming off that loss to Chris Duncan where he was winning, he was looking good, and then he got caught in a guillotine. Bolaji's a solid favorite here. And it makes some sense, right? He's fast, he's clean, he's powerful. But I do think that MarQuel's defense, his striking defense, is better. And I think that MarQuel will avoid the big shots, work really well, keep his jab busy, and win these exchanges. So I'm going to go with MarQuel here. I think the defensive soundness of him is going to be the difference, and Bolaji's going to start chasing. He's going to start missing when he chases. Then it's just going to force him to chase even more, be sloppier, be an easier read, and I think MarQuel will win this fight, probably at 29-28, just quite literally with a busy jab and some solid defense. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I actually think that MarQuel is I think he's a way better overall fighter. He's a very good fighter, former Factory X guy, and if you watch him fight, you can see that the way he fights. I mean, he fights like Youssef, and what this is going to look like, in my opinion, is going to be like the Timby Kawamba fight for Oki. Oki was really having an issue finding a guy like Kawamba who was dancing left, dancing right, didn't even really switch stances, but was giving him issues because Oki does have a nice jab, and if you stand in front of him, he does have that nice jab. He sets up the jab, double jab, comes over with the right hand, but if you're moving, he doesn't bring his feet with his striking. He gets lungy with that right hand. If you're just moving side to side and you're missing, right, swing big, miss big, and then the counters can be there. Kawamba was hitting him with the counters. The issue for Kawamba was that was short notice. He's a 145er that was coming up to lightweight, and Oki was able to do enough to win that split decision. This guy, Mederos, is a very good fighter, but he also, not only does he move left, not only does he move right, he switches stances as well. He's a good counter striker. What I don't like about MarQuel, to where I'm not going to bet him, because I know a lot of people have been reaching out, lock of the week. He is a pick. I'm not going to put money on him because in between rounds, in the middle of rounds, there seems just to be not really a laziness, but a lack of urgency to win rounds. He can kind of go about his, switch dancing and counter striking, but there's no urgency to really put a statement on the round. He can get taken down. He's got good takedown defense, but if he does get taken down, he has an issue sometimes of just not having that urgency to get back to his feet. And we've seen Oki should have done it against Chris. I have no idea why he was doing it against Chris Duncan, but he can get takedowns and get some control. He's worked that into his game. So I am going MarQuel. He's the better fighter. The footwork is going to give Oki a lot of issues. I don't think he's going to be able to find the big shot, but this could be another situation where it's like, what kind of mood are the judges in? Because Oki's going to be moving forward. MarQuel's going to be dancing left and right, hitting him with counter shots. And if Oki's able to land a couple big shots in a round where MarQuel looks like he's kind of just, typically like running away, even though he's fighting smart, we could have some weird judges early in the cards. That's when kind of the weirder judges take that in consideration, right? They usually save the good judges for the main card. This is one of the earlier fights. We could have some weirder judges at the apex, so they shouldn't be too weird. But I like MarQuel. I think he's the better fighter. He's a talented kid, but I just need a little bit more tenacity out of him. And I know Oki's going to be moving forward, but I'm going MarQuel. He's the better fighter.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised we're on the same side there, and I found myself a lot of fights on this card leaning towards underdogs, and last event, that was not the fucking case. That was a very chalk-heavy card.
If I was MarQuel too, because he's got his own offensive wrestling if he wants it, I would chill, do your switch stances, dance around the first 5 minutes, get out of that first round. I'd come out of that second round, shoot a takedown, just see where Oki's kind of at with his defensive wrestling, defensive grappling. I know that against Kawamba he did pretty well, but MarQuel's he's a 155er and he knows how to wrestle, and you can really wear in that gas tank because MarQuel against Hubbard. Turn that fight around. We have to remember too that fight was at Mexico City, so at elevation, weird stuff like that. But he was able to tough that out to win that decision. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it should be a fun fight. I'm looking forward to it. I am surprised to see that Bolaji's this
Jacob
big.
Jacob found out what tenacity means and hasn't stopped using that shit since. I swear.
I guess you say tenacity a lot. Never again. That's it now.
I'm gonna fucking say it all the time now.
Pretty tenacious wrestler. Come forward, tenacious striker. I'm looking forward to this fight. It should be a pretty fun matchup. Obviously, we are both on the MarQuel Mederos side. $7,300 in DraftKings Fantasy is actually pretty affordable. Because if this was like a $7,900 and it had a little closer, it's like, I don't know how well MarQuel's going to score. I don't see a finish here. He might not wrestle. But at $7,300, just striking alone and a decision win could be worth that money.
I think MarQuel has an outside chance of finishing this guy. As the way he was throwing and lunging against Timmy, MarQuel's pretty good at those little step-offs, some either hand, either stance, and really kind of catching people in the in tight. MarQuel by TKOs plus 575. If I was live streaming, that's probably a little flyer bet I would place.
Yeah, I might look at the plus 3.5 here as well, just because to your point, if Bolaji's running forward and like even if he's missing, some of these judges just like who's moving forward, who's trying to make something happen.
Jacob doesn't give you the pick. He just tells you the whole damn thing will play out, and he's right. Every time we fucking see to break down fights, I say, I think this person's going to win. You stupid fucking cunt.
He complimented you.
Oh.
He tells you how the whole thing will play out, and he's right more than he's wrong. Wild.
Oh, God.
Take it back.
Oh, my God. Hockey Balboa. That's on me, man. Fuck, man. God, fuck.
That's a tough look.
God.
You know what's a great look, though? If you go to WeWantPicks.com and you click Become a Member at the top, you will immediately look at everything that we have to offer. We have tools, we have bets, we have picks, we have an artificial intelligence, we have everything for fantasy to betting. We have tools to help you find your own spots, and then we have just blind copy-paste bets. Unlock every single thing, including the plus money safety parlay for the second event in a row. WeWantPicks.com, it's $10 for an entire freaking month. For an entire month, $10. And this is the only Apex card in that month window. WeWantPicks.com.
I'm actually not high today, randomly.
Randomly?
It's
honoring the troops sober.
Yeah, well, you know, they can't smoke from the grave.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have Jordan Leavitt taking on Kurt Holobaugh. Kurt Holobaugh, 21-9 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Alexander Hernandez, where a lot of people, including myself, questioned the judges. He's taking on Jordan Leavitt, 11-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming back after more than a year away. I am going to say some very specific things. You guys are going to get upset about it. And this is sort of the game that we've been playing about Jordan Leavitt over the last couple of weeks while I've been breaking down this card. Jordan Leavitt is an old school grappler. That's the nice way of saying a jiu-jitsu nerd. I do a lot of breakdowns.
Bullshit.
Dude, he is a fucking
Dude, he's got takedowns. He took Patty down 3 times.
A 33% takedown accuracy on a good day. The reality is, and it's not 33, it's 25%. Takedown accuracy. Jordan Leavitt will shoot takedowns. Doesn't mean that they're good. Royce Gracie shot some takedowns too. They weren't very good. Jordan Leavitt's a very dangerous grappler. A very dangerous grappler. But he's not as well-rounded as some of the other people in the division. His hands aren't great. The wrestling's not great. His ground game, though, is great. So,
Matt Healy, 3 takedowns. Steven Seiler, 1 takedown. Ani Barsalos, 3 takedowns. Thiago Moises, 4 takedowns. Austin Hubbard, 2 takedowns. Trey Adkin, 3 takedowns. Kanyon, 3 takedowns. Alexander Hernandez, 4 takedowns. We got this guy, Kurt Holobaugh, the 39% takedown defense.
I didn't get to the Kurt side. You're just reading all the people that took down Kurt, and I'm still on Jordan Leavitt saying that he's a jiu-jitsu nerd.
You picked and bet Kurt.
I did pick and bet Kurt. And I also say in the narrative, if he gets taken down, he's got very good jiu-jitsu, so I'm not worried about it. So as long as he doesn't shoot any takedowns and end up in a stupid, precarious position, Kurt Holobaugh's got great forward pressure. He's an Ultimate Fighter winner. He will stay in your face. He's the better striker. He's the actual better offensive wrestler. And he is not maybe just as good at jiu-jitsu, but he is a very good high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Dude, Jordan Leavitt was winning scrambles versus Chase Hooper.
I just said he's not as good. And then Chase Hooper subbed him. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, you're saying that Kurt is a better grappler than Jordan.
I literally said he's not a better grappler.
I literally just said he is.
No, I
said
didn't.
He's a better this, he's better this, he's better grappler.
No, and I got to grab when I said I'm not going to say he's a better grappler. I couldn't have been more transparent. I do think Kurt wins this fight.
Well, if
I
you
think
lost
Jordan
some weight, you'd be more transparent.
Anybody would be.
How's that weight loss going? It's been 2 weeks now. Can we get the scale?
We didn't do the challenge. You know how many cookies I ate after the THC shot?
I would love to actually get just an update real quick after this breakdown.
My back hurts. I can't stand. If I stand up on this camera and walk away, they're going to clip the shit out of it. I can barely walk. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. My back hurts. Listen, Kurt Holobaugh is old, but he's got good forward pressure. He will stay in your face. And Jordan Leavitt, if he can't get this to the ground, he's going to have a lot of problems here. I think Kurt can win this fight, so I bet on him. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, Kurt he's the better boxer. I mean, if this is a standing fight, he's going to win the fight. The issue is, 39% takedown defense is what it is. When you watch that guy fight, especially in his last fight versus Alexander Hernandez, I mean, those were effortless takedowns. He basically just barely grabbed the back of his knee, and Kurt, knowing that he is good at the jiu-jitsu stuff, if anyone's kind of the jiu-jitsu nerd of the two, it's kind of Kurt Holobaugh. He loses fights because he accepts takedowns, he's on his back, he can stay alive, but then he's just losing minutes. And Jordan Leavitt has won fights like that before, not necessarily getting the finish, but against guys like Kurt Holobaugh, he just kind of lays on him, he out-grapples him, and it is what it is. It's going to take a takedown every single round, and that's all it's going to take. I mean, he's going to get a takedown, he's going to get control. Jordan Leavitt was taking down Patty, was giving him some issues, was taking down Chase Hooper, was out-scrambling a guy like Chase Hooper, and yeah, he ended up getting caught by something, but we know how good Chase Hooper's going to catch anybody at any time, at any level in jiu-jitsu, and Jordan was holding his own in those exchanges. So, I'm not a guy that's going to bet Jordan Leavitt because I don't trust the aura that he brings into the octagon. I don't know how to say that, but
just goofing around.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's the one that came into that Patty fight and said Patty uses judo because he's not tough enough to learn how to wrestle. I mean, so to say that Jordan Leavitt is a jiu-jitsu nerd is kind of wild to me. I think he's got pretty decent takedowns, and even just decent takedowns take down a guy like Kurt Holobaugh. So it could just be a boring lay on it. It might not be a finish because Kurt does, know how to stay alive on the ground, but I like Jordan to win this fight. He's probably going to get the takedowns, and even on the feet, he's got dynamic kicks. He's got very weird kicks. Obviously, the boxing isn't great, but Kurt coming forward into those kicks could be an issue as well. So I like Jordan to win the fight.
You and I are split here. I'm on the Kurt side. I just think Jordan has one single way to win where Kurt can win a few different ways. One of which just being forward pressure. Stay in his face. This fight stays on the feet. He gets it done. So we are split here. I did place a little bit of a bet on Kurt because between the layoff and the plus money, and I think he beat Alexander Hernandez. I don't think that was and this is Vegas, so if Kurt does get taken down and Jordan just hanging out on top doing absolutely nothing after Kurt was the one marching forward, getting in his face, throwing punches, assuming the judges stay consistent in Vegas, they'll just ignore any of control on the ground because nobody cares about wrestling anymore. So I'm going to play those odds.
Jordan's kind of a... He's kind of got a mean streak, too, when he gets people on the ground, or like you saw in that Victor Hernandez fight when he gets people, or Victor Martinez, when he gets people against the fence. I mean, he just elbows and knees and all sorts of stuff. So,
listen, we're split here. I like Jordan Leavitt. Just don't see him winning this fight. Although Kurt Holobaugh, 38 years old, a little bit problematic, but it is what it is. $7,500 in DraftKings Fantasy for Kurt. $8,700 for Jordan Leavitt. Obviously a tremendous favorite here. I do not think there's a finish on either side, so I wouldn't go with the favorite here. I don't think $8,700 is a price point that Jordan will get to in DraftKings Fantasy, because if he does win, he probably gives up a round, wins the next two with some control because he was able to get the takedowns, but Kurt's submission defense will be too good. So I don't think Jordan wins, but if he does, I still don't think he'll score well.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit. I'm not betting Jordan, so I hope you win.
Thank you so much.
I know you wouldn't say that about me, but I hope you win.
I always root for lock of the week, even if I've picked the other direction, so I appreciate that quite a bit. If you do want to check out my safety parlay, Jacob's lock of the week, whenever that goes up, and all of the other bets, we have over 15 units of bets on the board, not just for this card, but UFC Atlanta, UFC Baku, UFC 316. We have a bunch of bets on the board already looking to the future. Unlock all of them right now at WeWantPicks.com. It's freaking $10 for an entire month's worth of access.
We've got a $9.99 from Jafel. Jacob, six-pack on me for Game 4 tomorrow night. Even though we appear as fanatical lunatics on social media, the older Knicks fans are more chill. Looking forward to Lock of the Week. I've had a back and forth with Jafel, a very cordial back and forth with Jafel about the Knicks and Pacers series on Twitter the last few days or so. Great guy. We appreciate the $9.99. Yeah, it should be. I think it's gonna be one of those historic games tomorrow night. Back and forth. Both teams, I think, have reasons to feel confident. Right, the Knicks with their 20-point comeback, they felt good in Game 1. The Pacers, obviously, with their comebacks, and they were up by 20. So it should be interesting. And obviously, I think the Pacers are going to pull it out. But if not, we'll see what happens. But I appreciate the $9.99. And yeah, I always appreciate the level-headed that you can have a discussion with sports fans, you know what I mean? Because in MMA, that's few and far between. So when
I have never had a real discussion. It's always, you're a fucking idiot, and here's why.
Yeah, like, how could you ever think against my opinion, essentially?
Yeah.
But
he's free money. Jordan Leavitt's free. Okay, dude. But yes, agreed.
I appreciate the $9.99.
Shoujo talking about the whole weight thing. No, Angelo, you accept the challenge. No, I didn't. Jacob threw up. No, I didn't.
You literally said, okay.
I literally said, no, I'm traveling this week for work.
It ended by you going, okay.
I can say okay. That doesn't mean I'm accepting. I'm saying, okay, whatever you say. I said I'm traveling. I cannot do it on a travel week for work, and I traveled last week.
I got Ariel to tweet me last night as well, because I got a little ahead of myself and was tweeting him when the Pacers were up 20, because he's Mr. New York Knicks and stuff, and after they got smoked in game 2 or down 0-2, I'm looking at his feed. He's not talking about he's not tweeting anything. Me, Pacers win or lose, I'm tweeting about it. I was tweeting last night after they lost, like, I'm not going to run anywhere. Like, well, it is what it is. So I sent him a little cricket, like, oh, where's Ariel? Where's Ariel? And then so when they got down by 20, game 2, I said, what are you doing, Ariel? And I tweeted him, hey, what's up? What are you doing, Ariel? He waited till after the game, after they won, and sent me a little waving emoji. He's like, all right, yeah, you fucking front runner, bitch.
Shit. All right. Next up at UFC Vegas 107, we have a rebooked Ketlen Vieira taking on Macy Chiasson. This fight was supposed to happen way back at UFC Vegas 84, but it's been canceled, rebooked. They fought in between, and now here we are.
What's that flag? Welsh?
I forget. It might be Welsh. That is a dragon.
Yeah, she's from Texas.
She is. You didn't hear my rant about you and her on the Quick Pick video, but I basically said how tall she is and said the likelihood of Jacob taking a picture next to her is pretty low because
extremely tall.
She's very tall. They have the same haircut.
We're the same height.
And the same haircut, and that's just not a picture you want out there because it'd be obvious that she's very, very, very tall. And then I said you met Megan Anderson, who's also very tall, but no picture. No picture evidence.
You were terrified of.
I wasn't terrified. I wasn't going to. First, the way that went down, I said, dude, that chick looks like Megan Anderson. You're like, it is.
I took one. You're like, all right, doesn't that kind of look like Megan Anderson? And I went like this. It is Megan Anderson. It is. It's very obvious to tell. I was like, go fucking. You're like, whoa.
I just wasn't going to bother.
I was like, all right, get the fuck out of the way. I was like, hey, Megan, hey. Nice seeing you. She was like, hey. Because nobody else knew who the fuck she was.
At all. No one gave a shit. Which is crazy because it's not even fighter, not fighter. She's like hot.
I think it is intimidating because she is so tall and so hot.
Yeah. 100%.
With all the tattoos and everything, and Macy's the same way.
I talked to Macy for like 10 seconds on our flight back from Vegas. But because she flew Southwest from Vegas back to Dallas after UFC 303, we were on the same flight. Seemed like the nicest human being in the world. Like still glowing from her win. Couldn't have been happier.
I think you're going to realize
good job.
The longer that you stay out of New York City that most humans are just
nice not
people.
Assholes.
Yeah. Like most people, like if you just approach random people, are just normal, nice people.
I don't approach anybody. And for no reason other than like, leave them. I'm not trying to bother
Or like,
anybody.
What's this $100 going to get me?
Well, what? What was that?
That wasn't me. That was you.
Oh.
You don't just walk up to random girls with a $100 bill and say, what would this give me?
I have not tried that technique, no. We've got Ketlen Vieira. 3-2 in her last 5. She is coming off that decision loss to Kayla Harrison. And she is 14-4 in her career. And the line movement on this card, on this fight specifically, has been pretty wild. Ketlen Vieira, you can see, opened -145. She is actually an underdog on some sports books already. These is all over the place. She's taking on Macy Chiasson. 10-3 in her career. 3-2 in her last 5. She's on a 2-fight win streak. I mentioned I saw her on that flight home from UFC 303. That was last year, International Fight Week. She won that fight. She was losing the fight, but she got a cut. What are we laughing at?
Someone said, Angelo, that's disgusting behavior. I agree. I wouldn't treat women.
What the fuck?
Especially if I had daughters, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, agreed. Should not be done. Macy was losing that fight to Mayra Bueno Silva, but then she landed a nice elbow, I believe, to open up a cut. They ended up stopping that fight
She was
second
on top,
round.
beating the fuck out of Buenosova.
Well, she literally was down on the scorecards.
It was
and then
one
the cut,
round, and it was a pretty competitive round.
Well, all three judges saw it the other way, and she got the cut. I think Macy's good. I picked Macy to win that fight.
And this
She is long. Well, she is long. She uses her length really well. She wants to fight at distance. She has worked in some grappling as of late. She's got 12 takedowns in her last 4 fights alone. But she is fighting an also very large, very strong woman in Ketlen Vieira. She's powerful. She will strike. She'll move forward. She'll hold you against a cage. She'll drag you to the ground. She'll work some trips, some uchimatas. On top, she's going to keep that pressure there. She is big. She is athletic, and she is strong. She just lost to Kayla Harrison, where she basically did nothing. But the reality is, Kayla could end up being a world champion in just a couple of weeks. I mentioned this fight was supposed to happen a few months ago. At that point in time, Ketlen Vieira was a 3-1 favorite. The only things that had happened since this was supposed to be booked was Ketlen lost to Kayla Harrison, credible loss, and Macy beat Mayra Bueno Silva. And because of those two things, we now have a flipped line where Macy is the favorite instead of the 2.5 to 1 underdog. And I get it. She is long. She is streaking. She's making stuff happen. And we saw the evolution with the wrestling. But I just don't think she's going to be able to do those things against somebody as big as her, but physically stronger. So I think Ketlen Vieira's just sheer size is going to give Macy problems because Macy's used to being longer, used to being able to use that size and that reach, and that's just not going to happen here. Ketlen Vieira is the pick, but this could be a nail biter. What do you think, Jacob?
$9.99 from John Doe, no message. And I actually thought I replied to that, and I thought that was a private DM that I would reply to. It said "touch my bussy," but that was public.
What?
But that was I didn't know. That was a joke. It's just a joke. Yeah, I actually kind of like Macy Chiasson in this fight. I don't that fight that Ketlen had, her last 2 fights. I understand it was Kayla and that is what it is. But even that fight against Panny, it's like she should have came in and smoked Panny, and she resorted to just these takedowns and the control. And I understand she was trying to find the finish on the ground and stuff like that. And Panny isn't known for her grappling, so that was the least resistance path to victory. But even in that, it's like God, I didn't really see the killer that I want to see and that you're going to have to bring into a fight against a girl like Macy Chiasson, because Macy Chiasson was a girl that was more tenacious than she was skilled. Earlier in her career, she was kind of the big girl that was tough and could come forward, but didn't really, almost like a baby deer, didn't really know how to use her length, didn't really know how to use her wrestling and stuff like that. Now it seems like she's starting to put it together. She's using her length in the striking. She's using her length and her wrestling abilities to get fights to the ground. And when she gets girls on the ground, she is a very big girl to have on top of you. She is long. She is rangy. She knows where her weight is supposed to be. You saw it against Bueno Silva. She got her to the ground, was controlling her, landed the elbow. The fucking cuts don't happen. You don't just fucking get blown on and then all of a sudden cuts randomly happen. She ate a fucking elbow and stopped the fight. That's how you win fucking fights. I don't understand that people are like, oh, what a bullshit fucking. She fucking elbowed her in the fucking face. And people are like, oh, Bueno was going to win that fight. She won a competitive first round and was getting fucking smoked in the second round. It's like, what? And I had Bueno Silva in that fight, but it's like, what are we doing here? I think Macy, just from being more tenacious, being the more, having more tenacity in this fight is going to be the one that's going to win. I think she's going to get a couple takedowns in a round or two, and if she gets on top of Ketlen, I just don't think Ketlen is going to have the tenacity to get back to her feet. So it's going to be Macy by tenacity, and she's going to win this fight.
Yeah, listen, I agree with I mentioned that she won with a cut only because a lot of people tend to just look at the stupid dots on Tapology and be like, oh, she finished Mayra Bueno Silva. And yes, technically she did with a cut, but I don't want people to look at that and be like, oh, she knocked out. No, she didn't knock her out. That's why I pointed it out. But I agree with you. Like, she got that elbow landed in the second round, was having success. It caused a cut, and she won the fight because of that. Just like nobody is saying that Kobe was about to beat. Was about to beat Joaquin Buckley because that fight was stopped with a cut. People felt like, yeah, he caused the cut, so we were good. So I agree with you there. I am on the Ketlen side, though. I just think the size is not going to be the biggest advantage that Macy has, and that typically is. And Ketlen is strong as shit. And if Ketlen gets the takedowns, or works the cage control, then I think Ketlen can win
I
the
think I'm
minutes
going to
here.
have a perfect card.
I hope so. I've never had one. You've had
3.
Have you had 3? I've never had one. I had a couple like 11-1s, but I've never had a true picked every fight correct card. I almost had a perfect card, a couple pay-per-views ago, but I just the main event was
I almost
the
have
issue.
one every week. Just a few losses.
So I one loss, and I think it was the main event.
Oh, well, so you didn't have one.
Okay. Listen, Ketlen Vieira is the underdog on most sportsbook right now, but the favorite for DraftKings Fantasy at $8,200. I don't know if either one of them are going to be worth this price point unless we do get a lot of back and forth grappling exchanges. 5 points for a takedown. You get some control time. And if we do have, what are you making that face for? Whose face is that? Whose face is that?
What's your favorite animal?
To like eat or pet?
Could be the same one. It's the same one for Shopcop.
Yeah, that is true.
My favorite animal is a horse. My favorite food is horse meat.
I would say my favorite animal. I like big cats. Like if I could own a giant cat, I would. The problem is they're vicious. What about you? What's your favorite animal?
I just want to break down fights, man.
Okay, yeah. Let's try to keep this professional. Who did you pick? Macy, we're split on this one again. Jacob and I are split back. Nope, did we agree? Nope, back-to-back fights. We are split. If you need a tiebreaker, if you want to know what the rest of the crew thinks, go to WeWantPicks.com. You'll see my picks, Jacob's picks, Artem, and BetSam. Then we have an artificial intelligence, a robot, picking fights based solely off of historical data. You can unlock all of those picks, everybody's bets, and all the tools for $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. And that's not $10 an event or $10 a week. That is $10 for an entire month. There's quite literally never a week, a day, or a month where we don't have picks, bets, and tools available for you. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. We do have a $2.70 super chat. Nope. Yeah, $2.70 saying, I bet Angelo's weight is over $2.70.
I would bet that as well.
There's no chance it's over $2.70.
A Monday night after Memorial Day weekend, I might take $2.80.
And we ate right before the stream.
What did you eat?
Tiff ordered Mexican. I didn't want it, but I ate it. She
eat?
Likes Mexican too much. She got me some
the entire
enchiladas.
lineup. Settle in, guys. Let's go through
Literally,
the entire lineup.
No. It was actually, it wasn't, I didn't do big work. It was 2.
How many fupas?
It was 2. Are you thinking of pupusas?
Now, how many fupas?
0. The fat upper pussy area? That one? Listen, I had 2 ground beef enchiladas and then a chicken enchilada, and that's it. That was the dinner.
Show with your hand the size of each.
They were like this.
And how did you eat them?
With a fork.
With a fork?
How the fuck do you eat an enchilada? With a fork. It's covered in shit. It's covered in sauces.
My favorite animal is a penguin.
Because they're all so short and can't fly? Fucking short, bitch.
Penguins used to be 6 foot tall. You can look it up.
What
Penguins
happened?
are awesome. I've met and pet.
I've met a penguin.
Quite literally, yes, I have.
I've never pet one, but you do get to feed them at the zoo.
I've pet baby penguins as well. They're the softest things in the world. I just think that they're just adorable. The way they kind of waddle around. They're a little clumsy. They're little. I just think they're better than a fucking big pussy.
Cat. Large cat. Before we move on, Butter Toast is making fun of how I say enchiladas. This was an epiphany that I had with a lot of people around this time last year. They're like, what'd you say? What do you call those?
Chipotle.
Chipotle. Yeah, I don't say the L. Chipotle.
Angelo says, and is 100% serious, he thinks it's chipotle.
Not chipotle. Chipotle.
Chipotle. That's what I'm saying. Chipotle.
No, now I know it's Chipotle, but I don't say the L. So normally I say.
But we had that same. I said that, and you were like, "I'm like,
Chipotle.
It's not Chipotle. You were like, oh my God, Chipotle is my life.
Chipotle is my life. Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have one of the brand new matchups on the card. Andreas Gustafsson lost his original opponent, and now he's got a brand new one. Trevin Giles stepping up on short notice, and me, Jacob, and Betsam were live on Thursday talking about this matchup. And everybody insisted Trevin Giles was going to open as a favorite, and I said, no, ma'am. No, he will not, because recency bias is a thing, and his record has not been great lately. And I'm going to circle back to that point in a second, but we'll start with the breakdown. Trevin Giles is 16-7 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is on a 3-fight skid. He's taking on Andreas Gustafsson, 11-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is making his official UFC debut. He was supposed to make this debut a couple of months ago. That didn't work out, and now here he is. And if my power flickers, Jacob, I'll be back. Just sit tight. Andreas Gustafsson, solid grappler. Actual wrestling skills. He'll move forward. He'll shoot takedowns. Like most wrestlers, he's going to throw a ton of strikes. Those are designed to back you up, get you out of sorts so that he can shoot a takedown. When he gets you to the ground, he's going to soften you up with elbows and then look for a submission. Despite being a grappler, though, he's got some very real power in his hands. He's taking on Trevin Giles. Trevin Giles is a very athletic guy, and it's his athleticism that gets him through some fights. He's got a great jab. He's really light in his feet, and he does a really good job working in and out of range. He'll throw a combination, then step out of range and reset. And regardless of what the stats say, his wrestling offense is not very good, but his takedown defense is solid at 72%, and that's because of that athleticism. He sets a good pace. He pumps a nice jab. He is coming off that 3rd loss in a row, and this one was to Mike Malott, where he defended the takedown attempt, but he was outstruck. Anybody who's going to pick Giles here, and I said this in the quick picks, and I'm going to say it again, anybody who's going to pick Giles is going to use his resume as why they're picking him. But they're going to cite losses. Oh, he lost to Carlos Prates. Oh, he lost to Dricus du Plessis. He lost to Michael Morales. Losses aren't wins. And before you going to go in the live chat and talk about he beat Roman Dolidze, say, no, he didn't.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
Losses are not wins.
I like it.
All right. He lost a lot of those fights. And some of you are going to say he beat Roman Dolidze. He didn't. Watch it back. He did not win that fight. Even Jacob knows that. And Trevin was the
bullshit.
Underdog lock of the week.
Oh, bullshit.
In that matchup.
Oh, my God.
I remember sitting on that couch, and you were just as surprised as anyone. What couch?
I bet
outside,
you don't know.
Outside at my old house. The good old
Watching
days.
it where? Watching it how?
In the backyard on the roller TV.
Okay.
I remember, dude.
It is weird how you can remember just random moments.
Yeah.
I remember standing up from the couch, either go get a drink or go to the bathroom or something, and you were like walking by me looking at you being like, he didn't win that fight. Like being excited about lock of the week and then looking at you being like, he didn't win that fight.
It was sloppy as shit, and that was pre-cardio Roman. Now he has cardio. So even if it was close, I would not use that as the barometer. And where I'm going with this is I do fully understand that Trevin Giles has had an incredibly tough slate of competition. He has not had an easy road in the UFC. And this is, in all likelihood, the easiest opponent that he has fought in years. But I still think Gustafsson is going to win this fight. Now, am I confident? Not really. But I think Gustafsson can move forward, can stay in Trevin's face. I don't think he cares about the jab because he will just bomb away. Andreas just moves forward and creates chaos. And Trevin, who relies on athleticism, doesn't want the chaos. So I think Andreas can win this fight purely based off of chaos and moving forward and staying in his face. But Trevin has beaten other wrestlers in the past. This is a tricky fight. Much trickier than the original matchup for Andreas, and he's still managing to be a pretty large favorite here. I'm going to pick Andreas. I'm probably not going to spend any money. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, when we talked about this last week with BetSam, I was kind of on the Trevin side, because I remember watching and doing a live stream for that Gustafsson fight, and I picked against Gustafsson. Obviously, I don't know anything about the fighters beforehand. I just do it based on looks and stuff like that. But all that other guy he needed to fight was just to get off the fucking cage, get back to space, because Gustafsson in space is not very good. I mean, he's just kind of wild, just kind of comes forward. And when you think about this in your head, you're thinking, oh, if they're out in space, Trevin Giles can get the jab going. He's going to be the better boxer. That's going to wear down a guy like Gustafsson. He's not going to be able to get to the clinch. He's not going to be able to get to those takedowns. That's what he wants to do, to be able to wear people down. And then I rewatched that Gustafsson's fight, and I'm like, you said it exactly right, Angelo. Trevin has a really good jab. Gustafsson does not give a fuck about Trevin Giles' jab. He is not going to stand in front of Trevin Giles. Like, literally, if you watch the start of that second round, he had so much success against the cage. He literally just bombed a right hand into the clinch, and then they're back in the clinch, and that guy went fucking nowhere. This guy, Andreas, knows what he is. He knows what he needs to do, what he wants to do. That is just get in tight, grab a hold of you, and just muscle you, either in the clinch with elbows and knees, or eventually work to the takedown. But the good part about that fight was he showed he doesn't really need the takedown. He can just control, but he's just so physical against the fence that he can just hold you against the fence, just wear you down, and once your guard starts dropping, you get a little bit more desperate trying to get out the fence. That's when you drop your hands with the underhooks. The elbows come, the knees come, and Trevin has shown that he's not the most durable guy at times. So while I do like Trevin Giles, right, he is a former lock of the week. He does have good takedown defense, and if he can turn this and just kind of master and mold this somehow into a boxing match, he's going to win. Like, against Mike Malak. Mike Malak just fucking stood in front of him, was eating those jabs and had some issues, but Andreas is not a guy that just stands in front of people and just boxes them. He gets in your face, he grabs a hold of you. The smaller cage of the Apex is just going to be even easier for him to do that, right? He was there for the Contender Series fight, and you saw how easy it's 3 steps basically to grab somebody instead of running across the big cage. So I don't think he's going to give a fuck about Trevin's jab. And if Trevin doesn't have that jab, he's like not the most dangerous guy in the world anywhere else, honestly. So he's a pretty good scrambler, good takedown defense, but Gustafsson probably is just going to fucking bully his way to a win. I don't know if he's going to find a finish, but he could. So I like Andres.
Yeah, I mean, we are on the same side here. We don't have DraftKings fantasy pricing because this is a newer matchup on the card. We also do have bet openly odds. The bet openly odds are even tighter than the real ones. Real ones have Trevin Giles at plus 135, minus 165. The other side, bet openly split that difference. It has plus 149 to minus 149. Trevin at plus 149 is like an enticing bet. Especially, like I said, if you look at the resume and you deep dive those losses, but I got to get out of this mindset of betting people based off of how well they did in a loss. And let's look at what people have been doing in wins. And it's been just a long road for Trevin. I also think, I could be 100% wrong here, pretty sure he's a full-time police officer. And if he is, good. He's got a pension, he's got great insurance, and he should stay that for a long period of time. But I'm not a cop. And he should stay that because, you know what's funny? Like, I feel like I have to say that because people are going to think I am and then, like, treat me fucking different, which is so weird to me.
Oh, my God, it's raining, Angelo. Oh, God.
It's thundering like crazy.
Oh, my God. What are we going to do? What if all of a sudden the fucking power goes out? Oh, my.
Do you think that fucking idiot timed that? Or do you think that was a setup? Was that a setup? Did his dumbass click the button? And I'll tell you what, I don't think he did click the button. I think his power did just flicker on him because if you noticed, it froze before it cut out. I think we just watched some real life instant karma with baby dumb dick willing his power to go out thinking he was funny making fun of me. What an absolute clown shoe. And we'll see if it comes back on. You know why I would have thought that was a bit? The reason I know that's not a bit is he froze before it cut out. You dumb shit. You dared the universe and the universe did it. You moron. We're going to have to move on. Next up at UFC Vegas 107, we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have Jafel Filho taking on Allan Nascimento. This is also a fight that was previously booked. This is supposed to happen a year ago, but it was canceled because Allan had to pull out. At the time, Allan was a massive favorite, and you can see that with what these odds opened at here. And this is about where we were at the close of the last fight. But now we've got a little tighter. Just a week ago, Jafel Filho was minus 115. Now plus 143. The odds are tightening quite a bit. Jacob is back. Was that a bit or did your power flicker?
What do you think, dumbass?
Well, you froze before it cut off. So I was like, I don't think that was a bit.
Yeah, well, that's the That's the cop in you. That's why you never made detective.
Okay, I'm not a cop, and if I was, I'd be a great detective. Jafel Filho, 16-3 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off back-to-back submission wins, taking on Allan Nascimento, 20-6 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is also riding back-to-back wins. Allan Nascimento's a fun striker. He can grapple as well. He doesn't have a ton of wrestling, but he will get into a brawl, and he will move forward. If he gets taken down, he'll immediately start working sweeps and looking for submissions. The problem, though, is that if he can't get sweeps, or if he doesn't create a scramble, he'll just end up on bottom that entire fight, getting pounded on playing that game. He's got decent power in his hands, but a low 26% takedown accuracy and a 16% takedown defense. He is coming off that upset win over Carlos Hernandez, where he was fast. He landed a bunch of combinations, and on the ground, he was just way ahead. But being way ahead on the ground in this matchup is going to be tricky because he's taking on Jafel Filho. Jafel Filho is a very fast-paced guy. He'll engage in a firefight, or he will look to work in some takedowns. He can get wild with the striking, but he is fast and he will throw heat. His takedown defense is solid. He has offensive takedowns as well. He's mostly looking to strike early, but if you do pressure him, he doesn't love it. He'll start to grapple. He famously had Muhammad Makayev's knee facing in that wrong direction. Somehow didn't pull that off. He's coming off that first round submission win over O'Day Osborne, where he literally landed 0 strikes. I think Jafel wins this fight. I thought he was going to win last time. I think he wins this time. He is very dangerous. He's good everywhere. He has been far more active than Allan. My only concern here, to me, I was surprised that Jafel was an underdog when they first booked it. I'm surprised he's still a dog. There was a moment in time where he was right there as a favorite. My only concern for Jafel is the fact that we've only ever seen him in one decision, and Allan is a pretty tough, durable dude. So I don't know if, I don't know if Jafel, that just sounds like, what was Steve Urkel's name when he was the cool kid?
I don't know why you always try to be mean to people.
No, I'm not saying he looks like that. I'm saying Jafel. We're trying to church up Jafel. It's Jafel. We don't need to church it up. Well, Jafel has only ever been in one decision. Allan is a tough dude. I don't know if there's a finish here. So I just don't have enough Jafel cardio to go off to be like, yeah, he's good for 15. But I do think he wins this fight. And I think we're good at betting him at these odds here. Or if you want to do a protection bet, like inside the distance decision, no action, plus 3.5, I think those are all fine as well. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, when this fight was first announced, if you guys did not know, if you guys are new to the channel, new to the lock of the week, whatever it was, Jafel, the pastor.
Okay.
You want to talk about why you were laughing? I'm not sure what's
I mean,
funny.
you said it like he's French. He's not French. Stefan Urkel. Yeah. See? Stefan Urkel. It's Urkel. It's Jafel. Stop churching it up.
Well, speaking of church it up, his nickname is the pastor, and all this guy does is go around preaching the good word and taking necks. And this guy, he literally...
I'm laughing at, that was well done. I'm laughing at you. Good job. It was designed for a laugh, and you got it.
I'm giving facts.
Oh, okay.
I've talked to this guy before. I made a lock of the week video for him with fucking DMX. What the fuck is that song called? DMX. I can't remember what the fuck that song calls, but I made the whole lock of the week video because this fight dropped on a Thursday or Friday, right? Of that week. It was the week of the fight. It might have been the day before, something like that. Allan was a little bit sick. Now away 2 years from the octagon. I think that's going to be a little bit of an issue. But this guy Jafel he's about that life. You want to talk about like a junkyard dog type of fighter, and this is nothing to discredit a guy like Allan, because Allan is a good fighter as well. He's a grappler. He is, he's part of the Charles Oliveira. He's been away, but he's been with Charles, doing a lot of stuff. He's still training. I have no issues with any stuff like that. But this guy, Filho, is a fucking dog. He is a tenacious striker. He's going to be the better striker. He throws that heavy fucking heat. And on the ground, even if you are offensive with him, he makes you work. And he is also a very high-level jiu-jitsu offensive grappler in his own right. He is going to bring the fight to Allan Nascimento. And those takedowns don't really work And even if they do, Jafel is going to make him work, and he's going to find a finish in this fight. He was my lock of the week. The previous fight, we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's going to be lock of the week this week. Things change over some time, and we got some different matchups on this card that I kind of like. But I got a bet on Jafel. I feel good about it. I felt good about it 6 months ago. I feel good about it now. I think he's the better striker, the more tenacious guy. This guy's got fucking Jesus Christ himself on his side. He walks around. Last time he won with the Bible like Bryce Mitchell, but he's not fucking quite as wild with it. He's he's known as a pastor. He preaches the good word, and he fights like it, man. He fights like a very determined individual. You saw that against Barres. What is it? Baez?
Daniel Barres.
Yeah, Daniel Barres. I mean, he was eating liver shot after liver shot, went down. The ref told him to get up. Every time he stood up, and then finally he got to the point where he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to start swinging. Turn that fight around, got it to the ground, and did what he needed to do. If you guys have never watched Jafel Filho fight, you are really going to enjoy the aggression and tenacity that he brings into a fight. It is something to behold. So I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. I already played Jafel money line, but if you want to play this fight, you don't really like either one, I think there's probably going to be a finish. I don't know if it's like a guaranteed thing, but it feels like there's probably going to be a finish one way or the other, but I'm going Jafel.
Yeah, we're on the same side here. I would love a drinking game here. Anytime you say tenacity, we got to take a shot, but
what's the point? I wouldn't make it a point about it now.
I know. I 100%. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't.
What a neck on the guy.
Great neck. No, it's not a Pedro neck. What was that dude's name? Padilla. It's not a Padilla neck.
Alpaca.
No neck like a Padilla neck, but that is a good neck. Great neck, because the head is proportionately sized.
What's the best? What would you say? And give a date and location if you could. The best neck you've ever gotten.
I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate on what that means? Do I have to Google neck Urban Dictionary? You know what I did?
Just say you're a cop, dude. Just say it, man.
So we in the neighborhood today, we were like, all right, let's go for a walk around the neighborhood. We're walking around the neighborhood. There's some little girls posted up at the corner of the park.
Hold on a second. Pause right there. First of all, your dog's fucking dying.
Dude, and Tiffany's like awakened downstairs. Do something with this dog.
Second of all, I'm talking about
what?
I'm talking about getting neck, and you go into a story involving little girls. So I don't know what's about to happen here, but let's everyone hold on tight.
I don't know what neck is, okay? I don't know what it is. I asked you what it was. You wouldn't explain it, so I just abandoned that. What is neck? Okay, so I'm abandoning this. Anything I'm about to say is not related to neck in any capacity because I don't even know what neck is. Because this,
what do you think it is?
I don't know. Maybe head. I don't know. We'll just name it upper body parts. I don't know. But listen, you said just say you're a cop because I don't know what neck is. And today we went for a walk as a family, and these little girls were selling bracelets that they made, like 5 little girls. And so I was like, Tiff, we got to buy the bracelets because anytime our kids sell some shit, other people in the neighborhood buy it. It's our turn.
I'm buying all the cookies.
It's our turn to buy shit.
I think you still owe me boxes of cookies. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes. Correct.
What the fuck are my cookies?
No, you got all the cookies you paid for. I tried to give you even more, and you didn't want them. That was the issue. Because I had a whole box of the lemon fucks that you like, and you're like, I don't want them. Anyway, so we buy these bracelets. They're $1 each. Tiff has a 20. She's like, we'll take 10, and then keep the change, whatever. So we get 10 bracelets. We're delivering them to friends. Like, all right, give 2 to this family, give 2 to that family. Boy ones, girl ones. We got 10.
Bracelet.
They've got yours. So they're handing them out. Then, hold on, I took a picture. And each bracelet was wrapped in like a folded up piece of paper with a note. And my daughter opens up hers and it says like, have an amazing day. Like normal shit. Then I look, hold on. Then we look at ours. And here you go. This is one that we gave Bo and his kids. The one up top says, be a big back. And the neighbor's little kid got one that said, "Don't be a big back." And then Tiff is like, "What is a big back?" Like freaking out. I'm like, "It's like cool kid term for fat." She was like, "What?" So now she has to like text all the parents like, "Hey guys, we didn't make these. Like we bought them. It might say some shit. Like we didn't read these notes. Like some of them are nice." So now all the parents are texting back like, "Mine says have a great day." And this one says like, "You're a big back." It's like, what the fuck were these girls doing when they were making these stupid necklace things? So wild times in the streets of Prosper.
I don't know, man. I don't know why that story happened, where that story happened, what I thought the reaction for that story was going to be.
I literally explained how I got to that story. I explained word for word.
I'm talking about neck, and you're like, we went for a walk today.
I don't know what neck is, and
I know,
you won't tell me.
I know, but I don't even know how that transition happens.
Because I said I don't know what it is. Do I need to Google neck Urban Dictionary? And then Tiffany had to Google big back Urban Dictionary because she didn't know what it meant. I only knew what it meant because I'm young and cool.
And?
A cop. Oh, I have a big back. Yo, you know how I know what big back is?
You know how I'm not high? Because if I was high when you said that, I would have fucking shit my pants.
The only reason I actually know what big back is because that dude Dre of Dallas, that dude is always like, here, thank you, Lord. That guy, when he eats a fucking Popeye's biscuit in one bite, like that's what he's known for.
My For You pages aren't about eating.
Well, anyway, he's on his content. He's great. But he calls people big backs, which is great. He's like, here you go, you fucking big back. So that's how I know what it is. Okay. Listen, what you guys need to know about is a $50 promo. If you go to wewantpicks.com/bets and you sign up with any one of the betting partners, you make a deposit, you use the link, we get paid. That's what affiliate links do. But then we slice off $50 and we give it to you. wewantpicks.com/bets. You have to use the link inevitably every week. We get hundreds of emails. Some are valid, some are not. A whole bunch are like, hey, how do I get the bonus? I didn't get the bonus. So I go, what's the account? Let me look it up. Maybe I missed it. Maybe we're behind. I'll check. And then I'm like, you're not in the system at all. I don't see you here. Did you use the link? I used your promo code. We don't have, there are no promo codes. It's got to be the link. No promo codes. You can't just go there, type in WWP. That goes to fucking nobody or somebody else, not us. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the links. I can't talk about premium, guys. I can't do this without mentioning premium. Here's a couple of tools. We talk about the bets. I brag about the safety parlay. Jakey boy has been crushing it the last, 2 months. Like up 8 of 10 cards or something insane like that. So yeah, the bets are working. You can copy paste bets any day of the week. We also have tools. One of those tools is the fight simulator. It simulates fights 100,000 times. What am I looking at? Is that you dunking in 1997?
We're getting up there.
Is that a Fisher Price basketball hoop? And you're like, look how tall I am. I dunked on it.
I'm a child, Angelo. And that thing's, obviously you can see it's ratcheted as high as it goes. Those are 15-foot ceilings. I mean, that's probably an 8-foot
that is
right
that
there.
There's not a basement in this world with a 15-foot ceiling. I'll tell you that.
You've never been to Indiana, buddy. You've never been to fucking Fishers, Indiana, one of the richest places in the world. That's a finished basement with 15-foot ceilings. That's an 8-foot goal at fucking, was I 11 years old, 10 years old? 10 years old. Boom.
I bet. I also hate that everybody calls it a goal instead of a hoop. We call it a basketball hoop my whole life. Everybody else calls it a goal.
Yeah, well, in 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana, motherfucker.
Look at this fucking guy. Jeez, dude.
Just palming that shit. Just fucking palming out. Balls high, bro.
Big Jake. It's crazy.
You've never been off the ground in your life. What the fuck you laughing at?
It's crazy.
The closest you've ever been off the ground is when I almost picked you up and slammed you on your fucking head when we fought. And the sensei had to save your fucking life. That's the closest you've ever been to being off the ground. The sensei,
first of all, the sensei. Second of all, in the kickboxing round, you shot a desperate takedown that you didn't get because you were cheating.
I didn't get it. I stopped. They were pulling me off your lifeless body.
So did you get it? Did you get it, the takedown, though?
Whoa! Stop, Jacob! Stop! You almost went through the front fucking windows. You were, and your sensei's like, no!
None of that happened.
Okay, everyone can just go watch the video. At the very beginning of the video.
Coach Marco said, whoa, because you were breaking the rules. I didn't scream. I didn't say stop. I believe I laughed. I'm pretty sure I laughed knowing you cheated.
You laugh because you never see those videos of people that cheat death and they look at the camera like, oh, and like the natural reaction is to like laugh because your body doesn't know how to react to almost fucking dying. Like,
it was shock.
Like that, yeah. You went into shock and started giggling like a little fucking girl because you almost got thrown through front fucking glass, shards fucking everywhere, and you would have been in a hospital for weeks, if not fucking dead. There is one reason that you were able to be in that fucking pussy closet with your family for the thunderstorms, and that's because I spared your life on that day in that moment.
Okay. Well, somebody said run it back for charity, and I agree we should run it back. I've got a charity in mind. Let's do it live. Any rule set you want.
I've said this before a million times. Why the fuck, if you claim that you're the one that's screaming for the rematches, I would if I won, which I did win, I don't want a rematch, but you for some reason are claiming that you won, but you want the rematch. It's like, I don't need the rematch. I know I won. Why would I rematch? I won.
Because first of all, you lost quite literally. You were submitted about 4 times and you quit.
Everyone in the
you
chat right now
extra time. He was taking extra time off between the striking rounds. Extra time between the striking rounds.
I was dead from COVID. I had COVID the worst anyone has ever had. COVID still showed up and beat your. If anybody that has watched the fight, and only answer honestly if you watched that fight in the chat right now, put Jacob or Angelo who won the fight. Let's just clear it up.
Quite literally, if you watch it, all you see is Jacob move forward, get his head dotted up 1,000 times because he's just moving forward like a battering ram. And then we hit the grappling rounds.
This is the funniest part is I got a bloody nose and Angelo's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Do you want to stop?" I didn't even say
on you.
I didn't even say a word. I got a bloody nose and I'm still moving forward. And you're like, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
Sorry for caring.
I'm like,
sorry for caring.
Good to go, dude.
Oh, Jacob, we got to stop. There's a dude in the comment section with a cartoon profile picture that said he would give us both wedgies. He's 280 pounds of muscle.
I'll give you both wedgies and stuff your face in the toilet if you ever see you at a fighting event. I'm 200 pounds of muscle.
I bet.
I believe it, Clyde. I know Angelo doesn't.
I don't believe it.
A lot of Jacobs in the chat, by the way.
Sure.
I mean, there's opinions and there's facts. I'm looking at a lot of Jacobs in the chat.
I guess I got to rewatch it. And keep in mind, guys, Jacob edited that video. Jacob is the editor of that video. FYI. Listen, on the website, we also have an optimizer. The optimizer will build DraftKings fantasy lineups for you. We have the safety parlay, one of many bets on the board, but one of the more stable ones, 6-1 in the last 7. We have an app. The app will not only deliver all the things the website does, but also push notifications.
Maybe when we get to 5, because we're close to 5,000 premium members. If we get to 5,000 premium members, maybe we run it back. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that's the point where it's like, okay, now they're dedicated. They want to see it. And maybe
we can make it a premium members live stream or something.
And what we need to do is we need to do it seriously. We should probably do it at Factory X.
Okay, but who's not one of your fucking DM buddies as the ref or a judge or whatever?
What are you so scared of? You're scared about bad judging? Look at this guy. This guy literally outweighs me by 130 pounds. Actually has experience, and I beat his ass so bad last time that he's worried about bad judges in Denver at Factory X. We can't. Oh God, I got to make sure we got sanctioned judges because I don't want what happened last time. What are you talking about?
What happened last time was you got dotted up and then completely manhandled in the grappling. Like it went. I mean, it couldn't have.
You outweigh me at this moment right now by 115 pounds. Congratulations for laying on top of me. I defended a takedown.
I'll lose weight for it. I'll lose.
We've talked about this a million times. If I was 100 pounds heavier than somebody and had 30 years of experience over somebody and I wanted to prove a point and didn't shoot a single fucking takedown, I would have hid my head in shame and never showed myself again. That was literally the biggest pussy thing I've ever experienced. I'm sitting there waiting for you to shoot a takedown. You didn't shoot a single fucking takedown because you were so scared that I was going to find a way to defend the takedown and never let you go. That's how mentally fucking weak you were in that moment. You were just waiting and waiting. I literally was clinching with you and you were like, come on, shoot it. Come on, shoot your takedown. You literally didn't shoot a single fucking takedown. 100-pound weight advantage. You've been wrestling your entire life. You could have proved the biggest point in the world. Just came in, grabbed the leg, thrown me to the ground, but you were just fucking sat back, fucking waited. I did all the aggression and all the grappling, got back to my feet when you did a little uchimata, and then you grabbed my ankle, and I said, no, sir, you stood on your fucking knee while I'm standing above you. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
So, Jacob said all the rules. Jacob got tossed feet overhead. Feet overhead. Fucking tossed. Jacob
Did you shoot a single takedown?
I didn't need to. You got fucking tossed.
There you go.
And that is a takedown. That is a takedown. Tossing you is a takedown. That's a takedown.
You did not attempt a single takedown.
I did not shoot a takedown.
Congrats on your little judo, whatever.
I threw your ass.
While I'm on, I grab a single leg on Angelo.
Great.
That is fucking embarrassing.
No. You went for a ride.
I grab a single leg. You try to throw me, fail, have to regather. You didn't fail.
No, that was me pushing your head to the inside so I could fucking launch
you went like this. I gather myself.
Correct.
And then you fucking literally used your 100-pound weight advantage to throw me over your hip. I immediately get back to I immediately scramble. You grab the back of my leg. I sprawl out of it. I get up. You're on your knee looking at me like, oh no. Everyone go watch it right now.
So the initial bump is to get your head to the inside. Once the head's in the inside, went for a ride.
Not a single 100-pound weight advantage wrestler your whole life, not a single fucking takedown shot. The most embarrassing thing I've ever been a part of.
I did not shoot a takedown, but I'm happy to shoot more. Duncan W with the $5 super chat. Duncan, the most reasonable person here. He was taking it easy on you. Team Ange. Thank you. Duncan. Happy to run that back. Guys, get us to 5,000 so there's no more excuses. Any rule set he wants, and it'll be live stream, so there's no editing out the nonsense.
Here you go. I got right here. Let's see, where's it? Is it this one? Yeah, here you go. Allan. Wait, let me put this like this. Gets the single. Up, fail.
Head inside. Head inside. There it is.
That
head
was
inside,
the head
gone.
inside. Yeah, watch how it starts, you dumb bitch. You stupid dumb bitch. Oh, I didn't fail anything. You ready, guys? Single leg here. Nope, too athletic.
You dropped your hips.
Look at the panic. Look at the panic.
Boom.
And then watch. Ready? Back up. Here's the takedown attempt. Here it
No, I didn't
comes. There it
attempt
is.
the takedown. I just tapped the leg. It wasn't there. I push off.
And look who's on their fucking knees. Let's play it back real quick. Ready?
So how do you end up on the
single
ground?
leg? Look at the panic. Right back to my feet. Takedown attempt here by Angelo. Changes levels. Boom. Sprawl out of it. Angelo on his knees. Look at it. I explained that literally fucking perfect. Look, single leg. No, sir. God. Boom. Right back.
Correct.
Scramble. Up to my feet. Angelo attempts a takedown. No, sir.
That's not
back
a takedown
to my feet.
attempt. So explain to me
very easy.
How did you end up getting submitted? How did you end up on the
look
ground?
at that. 100-pound weight advantage. Look, I'm right back at it. Up to my feet. Takedown attempt.
How did we end up on the
embarrassing.
ground? How did we end up on the
So
ground?
embarrassing. Because you weigh 150 pounds heavier than me.
I'm genuinely don't remember. How did we end up on the ground?
What are you talking about? You tossed me to the ground.
But then we ended up. I submitted you with the rear naked choke. How?
Because that was a different exchange. It's right here. Look.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking. I'm genuinely forgetting.
Hey, look, this is where I shot another takedown because Angelo just fucking standing there not doing shit. This is where you were like, come into me.
Yeah, you're running backwards.
Come into me. Come on,
trying to
do
throw
it.
you
Come
again.
into me. Come into me. Come on, do it. Come into me. Come into me.
Looks like a takedown to me. Weird.
Yeah, I fucking defend it, and then look, oh, step, oh, jujitsu, oh, jujitsu. Look, he still, literally, this proves the point again. Literally still couldn't take me down and had to step over jujitsu. Watch this, let's see this. I shoot the takedown, he's not shooting, he's not taking me down, he's waiting. Literally,
You're
in this moment, he's like,
backwards.
literally, he's like, come into me, come into me, come into me. Ready? Here's Angelo's another takedown attempt. Ready? Here it comes, he gets on the single, I'm defending, body lock, I'm defending, and then he's just like, look how fat I am.
That's a courtesy.
Just steps over and just lays on me. Look at this fucking shit.
That's a courtesy.
Holy
if I wanted to be
shit.
a big bear about it, I would have used that bear hug and just bullied, but I didn't.
And remember, guys, I had never grappled a fucking second in my life before this.
Oh, Jacob has very natural awareness of his body, for sure. 100%. Even the striking. Like, he was just marching forward.
I almost
with
got the
his head
underhook. And I actually switched to a single instead of getting the underhook. That's a takedown for me, actually. Hold on a second. I'm on that single.
Sean O'Malley math.
Hold on a second. I'm on this single. I was going to switch to an underhook, but I grabbed the single instead, and I took you down. Watch this shit. Watch this shit. Watch, ready? I'm being dead serious here. Watch. You shoot to a body lock. Instead of grabbing an underhook, I grab the single. Ready? Boom. No underhook. Watch me grab the single. I'm on the single. I elevate right here. Boom. You're on your back. I'm on top. That's a takedown.
Okay. It sure is. It sure is. Yeah, 2-0 Jake. Definitely need to run it back. 2-0. I got to get that takedown back. I got to get that. Jacob turned Angelo to Jordan Leavitt. Listen, guys. To Jacob's credit, he showed up ready to go. He just marched forward with his head down, got dotted up a little bit, didn't care. Not a care in the world, kept moving forward. Then in the grappling, he had some solid awareness. Like, when I was trying to throw him, and he was running his ass backwards. So you can't throw somebody running backwards. So then I had to resort to snatch up that single. He grabbed my leg, I threw a leg over, whatever. But the reality is, he's got very good positional awareness.
I'm a fucking athlete.
Still got fucking smoked, but good positional awareness. Also, somebody said Angelo has 5 minutes of cardio. Angelo had way better cardio. He's going to blame it on COVID. I was ready to go. I could have gone 30 more rounds.
I literally was sick as fucking shit. I literally should not have been fighting.
Yeah, he said he was going to cancel, and then I appreciate it, and then he didn't because people would just talk shit, which is 100% exactly what would have happened. So I get it.
The only reason I was I literally slept from Monday to Wednesday, essentially, because I'm like, I'm going to fight. And then even Friday came, and I'm like, I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
I mean, that was the right call to make, for sure. Because even not just for me, but from the other people. Listen, you just watched the fight of the century between the boys. We've got some other good fights coming up. In the next 4 Saturdays, we have UFC 316, UFC Vegas 107, UFC Baku, and UFC Atlanta. And the reason I mentioned all 4 of those events is because if you go to the website, wewantpicks.com, and you unlock the premium membership for only $10 an entire month, you'll have every single pick, bet, tool, access to everything we do for all of these events. wewantpicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. UFC 316 is a pay-per-view. Therefore, there will be a vlog. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas 75078, if you want to send something to be opened and read on the vlog. Let's go ahead and break down this main card. We only have 5 fights on this main card. And opening up the UFC Vegas 107 main card, we have Zach Reese taking on Dusko Todorovic. Zach Reese 8-2 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming back after the knockout loss to Azamat Bakoyev. He's taking on Dusko Todorovic. Dusko Todorovic is 12-5 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding back-to-back finish losses. Zach Reese is a massive guy for middleweight. He is 6'4". He uses all of that size and all of that strength. He's a very well-rounded guy, mostly a powerful striker, and then a straight-up jiu-jitsu guy. He does not do a very good job mixing those two things together. On his feet, he is dialed in, he is very tightly wound, and then he will uncork on people. We've seen the power. On the ground, he will play the jiu-jitsu game a little too much and a little too long. Those only 2 losses are because he was playing the jiu-jitsu game. Instead of trying to kid a scramble against Cody Brunson and getting the hell out of there, or Brundage, and getting the hell out of there, he threw up a triangle. Tried to play that game. Got power bombed into oblivion. Azamat Bakoyev, same thing. Playing that game a little too much. Azamat's hands do some work. On the feet, Zach Reese is very good. On the ground, he is very capable. Do wish he would create some more scrambles, try to make some stuff happen. He's taking on Dusko Todorovic. Dusko Todorovic is a technical striker. He's got good power. He has had some takedowns as well, offensively, pretty sound in the BJJ department. He's a high-volume guy, landing almost 6 significant strikes per minute. He's definitely got a questionable chin, though. He's coming off that knockout loss to Mansour Abdul Malik at UFC Vegas 100. My one and only concern with Zach Reese here is the jiu-jitsu nerdery. It has screwed him on more than one occasion. And I don't think it's going to screw him here, but the willingness to engage in situations he shouldn't be engaging in are the problem. Because in this fight, he either needs to strike with Dusko, make something happen, or if he's on the wrong end of those exchanges, which could happen, Dusko's a decent striker, he needs to offensively wrestle and end up on top, not play the jiu-jitsu off his back. I do think Zach Reese wins. I like that the odds are actually tightening a little bit here. You see it open at minus 225. Now it's minus 232. It was wider than that. It's starting to come back around. Zach Reese hits harder. He probably has a better chin. It's not really a guarantee, but he probably has a better chin, and he's certainly the better grappler. And he's much larger. I am going to pick Zach Reese here, but this is a card that there's only one fight on this card where I'm very positive it's going to go a certain way. Zach Reese is going to be the pick. I'll be biting my nail the whole time.
Yeah, this one is definitely an interesting fight because I've been a known Zach Reese hater. I was very high on Cody Brundage going into that Zach Reese fight. I honestly thought he was going to knock him out on the feet because if you watch Zach Reese fight, he is a tall dude, and he fights like a typical tall dude where he does not move his head. He trusts his range, and if you come forward, it is just kind of just a straight line backwards. And Dusko is a capable striker. He's got power in his own right. He's actually a very good grappler as well. So if he gets on top of Zach Reese, it could turn into an interesting fight. Initially, I picked Dusko. I broke down the fight. I'm rewatching the fights, and I'm like, I've called Zach Reese a jiu-jitsu pussy forever. It's at his default. That's what he wants to do. He's a 6'4" fucking middleweight, and he wants to just lay on his back, and he just eats right hands for a living as well. And I picked Dusko, and then I sat there, and I'm like, I'm only doing this because I fucking hate Zach Reese. Like, the only reason I'll pick a Dusko is because I hate Zach Reese. So I actually switched my pick back to Zach Reese because he should win the fight, right? He should be long enough for the striking. He's got power with his, with knees, with kicks, his front kicks, his hands, and on the ground, he should be able to be a better striker than Dusko. But, this could be one of those weird fights where everyone just assumes that Zach Reese is going to win because he should win. And then Dusko comes in and does something weird because Dusko, even though his chin may not hold up at times, he's not a fucking quitter. Like that Mansour fight, he got dropped. He was working. He was threatening with the leg lock, this type of stuff. Got back to his feet, into the striking. He's going to work. I think even in that Jordan Wright fight, I think I had Jordan Wright. I don't know if he was my lock of the week that fight, but Jordan Wright was like kind of ragdolling this guy for the first round. Dusko weathered the storm, then came on and found the finish. Something weird could happen like that in this fight. I'm going to go Zach Reese, but fucking betting Zach Reese or anything, that's not my type of thing because I've just been a Zach Reese hater kind of his whole career. So I'm picking him, but I'm staying away from him. Probably should win though.
Yep, I get it. And it's a tricky card where all of a sudden we're looking at the Zach Reeses of the world being like, as far as favorites are concerned, he's not the worst one on this card.
Kind of lost some aura, too, without that mullet. I think he looked better with the mullet. Even though I know his hair was kind of fading him a little bit. That doesn't stop the Jake Pauls and the Logan Pauls. They fucking still rock that shit.
Yeah, I think you can get away with a mullet with a receding hairline. Because it's all going backwards anyway. What's the difference?
Long, flowy.
Yeah, I got you.
Growing it back? I don't know. I haven't seen I didn't do an
Instagram deep dive.
Yeah, let's see.
$9,200 in DraftKings Fantasy for Zach Reese, and that's because they expect to finish, and that's because Dusko's chin is not exactly the beacon of stability like the safety parlay. If you do want to see the safety parlay, it is plus money this week. It was plus money last week. It's plus money this week. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You can check out the safety parlay not only for UFC Vegas 107, but UFC Atlanta, UFC 316, and UFC Baku.
The worst thing that fighters could do is not be active on social media. I don't get it. Like, that's your whole... You want to be somebody,
Literally.
You want to be a name. Like, you could get big fights just by being a social media person. Some people
100%.
just fucking... are so resistant against. He's only got 12,000 followers. He doesn't really update his IG. It's like, it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
100%. You can't leave. Otherwise, you're leaving your entire future and career into the hands of, does the UFC like me enough? Can't get sponsors when you don't have enough followers. Can't build your own thing. Can't go to another promotion if things don't work out here. Like, it's a much harder path when you don't have the
You can
the
literally
people
just
behind you.
force your way into fights by having a social media presence.
That's what, plenty of fighters have done it. $1.99 super chat from Floyd Nurmagomedov. It says, have to. I don't know what the context was here. I appreciate you. Comment again what this context was, and I'm happy to read it. You don't need to super chat it. I'm happy to read it out loud. $2 super chat from Jordan Weisner. Angelo was roided and still missed weight. Jake by knockout. No. Duncan W. $5 super chat. Love you,
nice
Jacob.
One on this one, dumbass.
I'm 5'9".
Why don't you read that last line?
Oh. What does it say? Wait, why?
He just doesn't want to read it. I mean, it's very easy just to not read it.
Why would he super chat $5 and then
do that all the time? Say, don't read this on whatever. Just I really appreciate it. Just a message to you or a message to me.
Well, I appreciate it, but he didn't say anything bad. That's what I'm saying. Why?
Well, if you understood the way the world works, some people just
I don't understand the world. Thank you, Duncan. My bad for reading it. Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have Dustin Jacoby taking on Bruno Lopez. Dustin Jacoby, 20-9 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that bounce-back win over Vitor Petrino, taking on Bruno Lopez, 14-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is on a 3-fight win streak. Dustin Jacoby's a guy that we've broken down many, many times. He's also a guy that's going somewhat viral right now. I guess it was in an interview last week. People asked him about his fights with Alex Pereira in kickboxing, and he said, his power is ungodly. I've never felt anything like that before. Now, that doesn't pertain to this fight, but it is a pretty cool peek into the world of what it's like getting hit by Alex Pereira. Dustin Jacoby is a former kickboxer. Dustin Jacoby was a kickboxer, came to the UFC for a year or two, left, went back to kickboxing for a very long period of time where he walked all the way up to rank number 2 in the world. And then he came back to the UFC. When he first came back to the UFC, he was on a beautiful little win streak. And now it's been a rockier road as of late. He's getting a little older, but he is still a high-level technical striker. He'll light your legs up. He'll come forward. He'll pump that jab, and he's pretty technically sound. He did just knock out Vitor Petrino. That was more of a perfectly landed shot than it was a masterclass in striking. He's taking on Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez is a forward pressure striker. He has no problem with volume. He'll start technical. He'll throw in combinations, but he will get sucked into a slug fight where he just starts winging from the hip. He's a solid grappler as well with decent takedowns, heavy top pressure, good ground and pound. He's coming off that decision win over Magomed Gadzhiesulov where he had 5 takedowns. I am going to pick Dustin here. He's going to be the way better striker, and he has very good takedown defense. That's the pick. But I'm going to do what Angelo does, which is tell you why you probably shouldn't bet on this fight and all the ways it can go wrong. The reality is Dustin does not like forward pressure. He doesn't fight nearly as well backing up as he does moving forward. Bruno Lopez has great forward pressure, and if he just stays in Dustin's face, this could get weird. Dustin did just knock out Vitor Petrino, but that was Vitor running in chaotically, and he ran right into a straight. I am going to pick Dustin. There's probably some recency bias on this line. I am surprised it's 2-1, essentially. But Dustin's going to be the pick. I think he's a good enough striker to win the striking exchanges and definitely a good enough grappler to keep it on the feet. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I had actually a funny interaction with Dustin Jacoby. I was at the Cody Brundage fight when he fought Julian Marquez, and then afterwards I was kind of waiting around for Cody, and David Onama was there, and Dustin was there and stuff. And after the fight, Dustin came like jogging over me. First of all, he's fucking huge. I think you talked about that.
I saw him in the airport, and I was like, God damn, he's big.
He's listed at 6'3".
He's
like,
bigger
than
than
that. Seems like he's like 6'6". I mean, he like walked up to me, and he like was like a half jog up to me, and I'm like, what's this guy about to fuck? I knew it was Dustin. I'm like, and I immediately started going through the Rolodex of like, what was I saying about him in past fights? Like, what's he about to say to me right now? And he came up to me and he goes, hey man, can I get one of those highlight tapes? Because he was talking about the lock of the week, because I did one for Cody, and everyone loved the Cody one, right, or whatever, and then obviously Yusef and stuff like that. So super nice guy, and I told him, I was like, you just gotta, you got to be an underdog.
Be an underdog, right? Yeah.
Whatever. And honestly, when I was breaking down this fight, I was like, perfect. I can finally make Dustin his highlight tape. He can be my lock of the week. I like him in this fight. I'm going to pick Dustin in this fight, and I just assumed that against a 14-1 big Brazilian that he was going to be the underdog. I don't think he was deserving of it, and that's why he was going to be my lock of the week, but I just assumed that the odds makers, typically you see a 14-1 big Brazilian like this, kind of a younger-ish prospect with an aging guy, you would assume that Dustin was going to be the underdog, but he's not. And I'm not surprised because Bruno isn't like your prototypical 14-1 guy. He's been knocked out in his one loss, and he fights a little bit sloppy. He wants to just kind of march forward, grab a hold of you, muscle you, get you to the ground, and he's not really great at doing any of those things. He's an okay striker. He's okay in the clinch. He's got okay takedowns, okay grappling, and what could hurt Dustin in his fight is the smaller cage in the apex. I mentioned that in an earlier fight. A guy that wants to be in that range of kickboxing, he probably would prefer the bigger cage, the smaller cage at the apex, but I think Dustin is going to be able, he knows what Bruno wants to do, and that is get in his face, grab him, hold him against the fence. Dustin's actually got in trouble before with kind of like the more powerful guys that kind of lunge athletically into the clinch with the striking, where Bruno would just kind of a little bit more methodical, press you against you, then grab you, and then hold you. I think they're going to be well aware that Bruno is just going to want to hug to win, and Dustin has been in fights like that before to where he can just kind of circle off the cage, get his underhooks, get back to space. In that space, Dustin should be the better fighter. So, unfortunately, he can't be my lock of the week. I was actually kind of looking forward to it to get that highlight tape for him. So sorry about that, Dustin. But he's like one of the nicest people. And I talked to Cody about they call him DJ Dustin, and said that he's literally like the nicest dude in like the fucking world. Like the way he came up to me, he was like a little kid. He was like, "Hey, can I get one of those highlight tapes?" And I was like, "Hey, if you're an underdog," and unfortunately we might have to wait for that. But I like Dustin in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, you should win this fight. I was surprised by the odds too. Jacob and I talk about it all the time. We break down the fights, then we look at the odds, right? We look at the matchup, take our notes. If we have to watch tape, we'll watch the tape. We'll do all the things. Then we'll look at the odds, see where there's value, where there's not value, things like that. I do fight by fight. I don't know, maybe he does the whole card, but I'll do the entire fight. I'll take all my notes. Then I will look at the odds, and then I'll be like, do I place a bet? Do I not place a bet? And I was surprised as well that Dustin was at least as big of a favorite as he is. He was an even bigger favorite the other day. Because I expected the same thing. Like, he's 37, and yeah, he beat Vitor Petrino, but that broke up a bit of a losing skid there, and Vitor ran into that punch, and Bruno's young. But I think it just says a lot about, as the year goes on, I think these odds get better and better. Early in the year, in the beginning of 2025, all we talked about were how many massive underdogs were winning. And that is very quickly changing as we're getting to the halfway point of the year. And I think the public gets smarter and smarter. I think the books get smarter and smarter. And the odds tend to be more and more correct as the year goes on. I don't have any data to back this up other than it felt like this last year and it feels like it again this year. And I think this is one of those fights. And the main event's another one where I get how it should be close. But the reality is most people are on one side, and the odds are going to reflect that. Justin Kobe's both of our pick here. $8,800 in DraftKings Fantasy, though. I'm probably not going to spend that money because while Dustin did just knock out Vitor Petrino, I think he's just going to be working his way off the cage and being the better striker this whole time. He probably wins a decision, maybe even 29-28, if they give credit for Bruno's cage control there. But if you do want to check out not only all the picks and the bets, but also the tools. We have a tool called the Fight Simulator that simulates fights 100,000 times, and it gives you those outputs. We just used the Fight Simulator while building last week's Underdog Fantasy and Prize Picks entries, and the lines that the simulator gave us were absolutely spot on, perfect. Check it all out. Everything we do is included in one package, $10, WeWantPicks.com. Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have the featured fight of the evening. This is a brand new matchup. Both of these gentlemen were already on the fight card. Billy Ray Goff was supposed to fight somebody. They couldn't get their visa. That guy is gone. Ramiz Brahimaj was supposed to fight Oban Elliott. But instead of getting Billy Ray Goff off the card and keeping the Ramiz fight, they said, sorry, Oban, you're out. Ramiz is now fighting Goff because we know Goff is exciting. And Ramiz was already on this card. So it is what it is. I don't know what behind the door negotiations happened, but this is a fight that we have now. And I'm good with it because Billy Ray Goff is an exciting guy. And he's from Connecticut, 9-3 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Trey Waters about a year ago. He's taking on Ramiz Brahimaj, 11-5 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is alternating wins and losses. Ramiz is a very accomplished grappler. He's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu, and on the ground, he could be a problem for a lot of people. If he ends up on top, major issues. If he's off of his back, it's not quite the same thing, but he's obviously pretty skilled with the accomplishments that he has. He will strike. He's got some decent power in there. We just saw it in his last fight. But the reality is, this guy is grapple or bust. He has 11. That was his first knockout. He has 11 wins. 10 of those 11 are by submission. He is a submission or bust fighter that did just find some massive power in that last fight. He's taking on Billy Ray Golf. Yes, he has 3 names, and that's typically the nod to a serial killer. And when he fights, he is pretty chaotic. He's going to move forward, pretty well-rounded. The boxing's clean. He's got good clinch work. He's got decent wrestling, good grappling. But he moves forward. He has no problem engaging in a straight-up fist fight. When he does get a takedown, he's got good top control, good pressure. He's got good cardio. He will push an incredible pace, and he's an absolute dog. We saw that in his last fight against Trey Waters. He got a decision that didn't go his way, but it felt very close, and a lot of people thought that he won that fight. And it just showed that he's a dog. He'll come forward, he'll stay in your face, and he doesn't care about anything. That is both a gift and a curse. I am going to pick Billy Ray Golf to win. I think he does win. I think the dog mentality, the forward pressure, the hands, all of that is why he wins this fight. I do worry that he will just come forward, swing wild, get some takedowns, because I don't want him on the ground with a much better grappler. I want him standing, bombing away, staying in Ramiz's face, just keeping it ugly, keeping it dirty. Same thing that Max Griffin did to Ramiz, I want Billy Ray Golf to do. Billy is going to be the pick. What I will say, and I'm curious what you think, Jacob, and you may not have even broken down the previous fight. I am surprised to see that Billy Ray is a much larger favorite in this matchup than he was in his original matchup. His original matchup was against a pretty well-rounded guy that was decent at everything.
Who was it?
But not, was it the Korean Tiger? I forget. What's his name? You'll see it on Tapology. And he was decent at everything, but not wildly dangerous at any one thing. Ramiz Brahimaj is dangerous at one thing. So while he's not incredibly well-rounded, there is one very clear path for him. So I was surprised at that. I'm surprised the odds are wider here than they were before. And both these guys were already on the card. This isn't short notice for Ramiz. So Billy Ray is the pick. Just surprised that he's a 3.5 to 1 favorite here. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I think part of your breakdown was exactly what needs to happen. First round, don't wrestle, and you're probably going to win. It seems like that's as easy as this fight should go. Where Ramiz, I know that he definitely looked cleaner in the striking in his last fight versus Mickey Gall, but, it is Mickey Gall. He's able to find that knockout, but it is Mickey Gall. I mean, Billy Ray Golf is probably the exact opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to type of person as Mickey Gall. You want to talk about tenacity. I mean, Billy Ray Golf, former lock of the week. Remember, guys, I find these guys before everyone else. Everyone knows that Billy Ray Golf is a dog. I knew it before everyone else knew it. He was a fucking lock of the week. He got the job done. He's a fucking junkyard dog. I do worry that he was trying to force the wrestling against Trey Waters, which made sense in that matchup. But if he starts scrambling around with a dry Ramiz early, you're just going to give him, why would you? It's like when I was watching Amanda Hebos and Mackenzie Dern. It's like, yeah, you can get the takedowns, and yeah, you can probably get the control, and yeah, you can probably survive on the ground and be able to do, but you're giving them their only opportunity to win the fight. Why would you even do it? Yeah, you might be able to do it, and you probably can do it, and you've done it before, all this stuff, and I'm good enough to, but why give them the opportunity to do what they want to do? Just stay on your feet the first round, pressure this guy, challenging the striking, because Ramiz is feeling good about his striking, right? He cleaned up the striking, found the knockout, so challenge him, get in his face, land the big powerful shots, wear this guy down, because we've seen as fights go, Billy Ray will build and Ramiz will start dropping off. And if you get out of the first round and then you want to start wrestling, well, then he's going to be a little bit tired, and we saw what people like Temba and stuff did to him. He will just kind of lay there and accept those type of positions rather than being an offensive grappler and be able to hit sweeps and stuff like that. So I like Billy Ray Golf. That's my fucking dude. He's going to win this fight. Even if he does wrestle, he can probably do enough to stay alive or find a fit, whatever. I'm not that concerned, but why even give Ramiz the opportunity to be in a position where he's going to feel good about himself? Keep it striking, keep it pressure, small cage against the fence, body shots, bury this guy, and then start wrestling if you want to, second and third round to really beat him up. So I like Billy Ray Golf. I've been a bit fan of his before everyone else. I've been number one fan forever, and he's going to win this fight.
Yeah, listen, I'm on the Billy Ray side. Can't go against Connecticut, and he fights like a man. And sometimes that's all you need. So, yeah.
This is Connecticut versus Brooklyn.
There you go. Ramiz is training out of Dallas, though, but yeah.
He's a Brooklyn boy, I'm pretty sure.
There we go.
Hey, where's
That's not it.
Hey, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, where you putting it? Hey, let's get the trash man for the bodies. Hey, I own a dry cleaner.
That was bad. I mean, you have decent impressions. That one wasn't it.
We'll be right back.
Billy Ray Goff is the pick. We have no DraftKings pricing because this fight is brand spanking new. This just got slapped together 2 days ago, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Someone said Ramiz been working on his hands a ton. It showed in his last fight, but Billy Ray showed against Trey. That dude's fucking made of concrete.
He doesn't care. Yeah, he does not care. He also fights like a short guy, even though he's not that short. Meaning,
he's a fucking thick king too.
Yeah,
he's getting. I kind of like it. He's getting a little zesty too. He's got some cads. He's got the super long hair now. Paints his fingernails.
I asked. So Nick Newell, you guys know, he's Connecticut. Nick Newell, Billy Ray's in Connecticut. I said, "You ever train with this kid? What's the deal?" And he's like, "He's just dirty Watertown tough." And I knew what that meant. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I think I've picked him in all his fights. I don't know if I picked him against Trey Waters or not, but I certainly picked him in his UFC debut, and I'm certainly picking him here. So we'll be rooting for the Nutmeg State.
He's a thick
The hell
boy.
you watching?
Look at that back on him, man. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but that's Billy just throwing that thing probably, it's a 200-pound medicine ball. For all look at the fucking, he's fucking jacked
he's fucking
up.
jacked. Okay, what the fuck? Oh, this is his videos.
Whoa!
Whose
Holy
nutsack was
shit.
that? Whose nutsack
what a
was that,
nutsack.
Jacob?
It was it switches to his, it's somebody else's, like a fucking anime or something.
It's
on his feed. It's his feed.
Show us the nutsack, Jacob.
It's not a nutsack. It's a look. Hold on, let me pause it.
It looked like a nutsack.
I know. I got worried too. It's like a hair. It's like an anime thing or something that he retweeted.
All right, I got you. Fine, we'll take it. You had some explaining to do. Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have the co-main event of the evening. For anybody saying that the co-main event should be the main event, I disagree. While this is a spectacular fight, and I appreciate that this fight is on this card, the main event has the number 4 ranked woman in the world versus the number 5. Where here we have, 6 versus 12 or something like that, which is a great matchup. It matters. Not quite as much as the main event, though. But we have Mateusz Gamrot, 34-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that decision loss to Dan Hooker, taking on Leavitt Klein, 23-4 in his career, 4-0-1 in his last 5. He is on a 4-fight win streak. Gamrot is exactly what we expect Gamrot to be. He has not changed his game one bit. From day one in the UFC to right now, he is the exact same fighter. Non-stop forward pressure, good technical striking, but he does get dropped. That's it. That is Mateusz Gamrot. His control isn't great. He is not dangerous in any capacity whatsoever, which is why he gets so many takedowns per fight. But his wrestling is aggressive. He's got plenty of cardio, and his striking is technical. He is a good striker. But he can be chinny. We haven't seen him flatlined, but we've seen him get dropped and wobbled in every fight. In fact, he has been dropped in 6 of his 10 UFC fights, and I am including the Dan Hooker fight in that, where they didn't record a knockdown, but if you watch that fight, that dude got knocked down. He's taken on Leavitt Klein. Leavitt Klein is the opposite, where Mateusz Gamrot is a very nasty wrestler. Leavitt Klein is a nasty striker. He's smooth, he's fast, he's accurate. He does a really good job keeping fights technical. He'll hide kicks behind a jab. He never throws anything lazy. He never gets out of position. He's got good takedown defense at 90%, and he will even look to offensively wrestle. He is coming off the win over Roosevelt Roberts, where, on one hand, he won that fight. He looked fast, he looked powerful, but he was also a minus 1,000 favorite. He was supposed to blow through that dude, and maybe our hopes were just a little too high.
You were hoping he was going to blow him.
Blow through him. Through completion. I was going to fade Mateusz Gamrot in his last fight. I didn't do it. I didn't quite pull the trigger. I do listen to outside sources, and I let it sway me. I should have never done that. I should have just stuck with my initial guts. Because in that fight, I said, here's the problem. Gamrot's going to be shooting over and over and over. Eventually, he's going to get dropped, because that's what happens. So that round is going to be gone. And then if we just have another close round and Dan Hooker's a dog, he could lose this fight. And that's basically what happened. And this fight seems somewhat similar, but the advantage to this fight, and I'm about to pick Ludovic Klein here, the advantage to this fight is that we are in Vegas. And I've said it earlier in the card, Vegas hates wrestlers. They don't give a fuck about your takedowns. They don't care about your control. They care about who's trying to win and is there damage. So if Mikhail Gamrot, arguably one of the least dangerous guys in the top 10, is getting takedowns but not making you bleed, not elbowing you, just kind of holding you there, scrambling with you, the judges may not care. And then you're on your feet, and Ludovic Klein is sending with power, trying to make something happen. When the striking exchanges, Mateusz Gamrot's face does get cut up. He does bleed. Ludovic could get a very close 29-28 split decision. So I'm going to pick Ludovic Klein. I do expect him to be taken down. I'm just expecting the judges to not care, because all I hear from you people is nobody cares about the wrestling. Control doesn't matter. It's only damage and people trying to finish. So Ludovic Klein is going to be the pick for all of those reasons. But sometimes this motherfucker decides he wrestles. We saw it against Bahamondes, but that dude's a giant. So hopefully in this fight, he just keeps it standing and strikes. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, Ludovic Klein, if you guys don't know, I've talked about it before, and I'll mention it every time he fights, was the greatest lock of the week of all time as far as odds go. He was plus 375 as my lock of the week versus Mason Jones. Came in and smoked that kid. So I will always have a special place in my heart for Ludovic Klein. I've been up and down on a guy like Gamrot. Obviously, he is a crazy, relentless and talented wrestler. The scrambles that he puts on people is just on the chain wrestling, and just the way that he can flow through some certain positions, just absolutely fucking insane. And even though he's getting dropped, even though he never fucking stops, and you got to credit that, because I did a video last week. If you guys haven't seen it, it was the most talented fighters in the UFC. And I talk about a guy like Merab, who I think is one of the least talented people in the UFC. He's not really good at anything. He just worked his fucking ass off to a point where he can just outwork people to become the UFC champion. Gamrot is a guy who is a talented wrestler, but also is kind of in that same mode of he just decided, I'm just going to outwork people until I can get my title shot, and I'm going to win the belt, and hats off to him for it. And I'll be honest, these odds dropped a few weeks ago. I put a future bet on Ludovic Klein. It's still up there for premium members. Do I have buyer's remorse on that after watching and rewatching some Ludovic Klein film? A little bit, because this guy was a dynamic striker, like a guy like a Fiziev, who we saw Fiziev coming in against Gamrot, and if he didn't blow out his knee, it seemed like that was going to be like the exposure moment for Gamrot. Like, even if he's not getting knocked out, he's not going to be able to do this spam wrestling bullshit versus high-level strikers that also have good takedown defense, which Ludovic Klein is like the prime example of that type of guy. The difference is Fiziev is not really going to shoot. He's not going to ever really shoot a takedown. Ludovic Klein, for whatever reason, and good for him for doing it, he has evolved his game into using wrestling to win fights. At Roosevelt Roberts fights, the striking, he was having striking success, but the length of Roosevelt was kind of giving him a little bit issues. So boom, he went to the wrestling. He was able to win that fight with the wrestling, and that's what it is. I worry in this fight that he has defaulted to the wrestling so much in fights that he is going to get to a point where he is going to try to shoot takedowns on Gamrot, and you're not going to take this guy down. He's just going to out-scramble you into these positions. And yeah, Gamrot isn't dangerous with the submissions. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of control, but it's those type of actions where he makes you work that sets up those type of actions even later in the fights. He just makes you work and makes you work. So then your striking is a little bit sluggish. He can get to your hips a little bit faster. You're not scrambling quite as hard. He's just constantly just chain wrestling, getting you back down to get back to the ground. So I am going to pick Klein. I'm going to stick with it. I don't trust a guy like Gamrot with his chin, and he's kind of just a one-trick pony. He doesn't have a lot of control, not a lot of submissions. All Ludovic has to do is really land that one shot or defend a few takedowns, and Gamrot looks silly in there when he's not getting all those takedowns in control. He's on his knees. He's fucking diving at shit. So I'm sticking with Ludovic. I got a bet on him, but if Ludovic Klein even thinks about shooting one fucking takedown in this fight, I'm going to fucking throw up in my mouth, swallow it, and it like it like burns when you do that. It's fucking, and it's not gonna be fun. I'm picking Ludovic.
We both picked Leavitt. I will not throw up and eat it if he starts shooting takedowns, but I would be quite disappointed because that is a dumb thing to do.
And Ludovic takedown defense 91%, but he's not fighting. He hasn't fought 6 Gamrots in his last 6 fights.
Yeah.
So I know that you can have good. I know you can look at the percentages, but Gamrot's a little bit different the way he fucking chain wrestles. So you can have fucking. There's like Chris Curtis wasn't ever taken down until all of a sudden he was taken down.
Brendan Allen. Chris Curtis, quite literally, going into the Brendan Allen fight, had the best takedown defense in middleweight history. And then Brendan Allen took him down like 5 times.
Like, it's just like stats are stats, and it is what it is. I mean, that's like people that's like, oh, so-and-so's never been submitted. It's like, yeah, nobody has until they have.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, Mateusz Gamrot out-wrestled Arman, and he borderline out-wrestled Beneil Dariush, who was a world champion grappler. The scrambles were nuts in that fight. But listen, I agree. I'm on the Ludovic side as well. But again, I was leaning very heavily on Las Vegas, their judges, and the judging, where control doesn't matter. And if control doesn't matter, then we should be good because Mateusz doesn't work on top. He's not elbowing. He's not laying into you. He's not trying to finish you. He's just getting takedowns and working. So we could win a close one here.
He literally is like, I mean, it's basically just mat returns. Just
correct.
Put you on your knees, get back to a seatbelt, drag you back down. You get back to your knee, drag you back down.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like I said, I'm going to trust. Every time I do a recap video, I get a ton of hate based off of like one decision on the card. I'll say how I felt. You guys go bananas. And it's always like, Angelo's so old. It's only about damage now. He's old. Okay. Well, I'm on your side now. If damage is the one and only qualifying factor for winning fights, it's got to be Ludovic Klein. We'll see how this one goes down. Speaking of recap shows, this Saturday, Jacob, are you coming over? You were invited months ago. This Saturday, we'll be having a little hangout at the house for my birthday.
Saturday, I have tickets to Game 6 in Indianapolis.
The 31st?
That's right.
Okay, enjoy. I'm happy for you. You'll have a better time there than you would here.
And if there is no Game 6, there might not be a Game 6, but if there is no Game 6, I will be streaming these fights.
You'll be at the house playing Frisbee with the boys.
No.
Anyway, I may not film a recap because we are going to have some people over for my birthday. So I'm going to enjoy myself. If I get to the recap, then great, I'll do the recap. If not, maybe the next morning, we'll see how it goes.
Miss
Definitely
your game
not touching
and go to
that
Big
booze.
Ange. Sorry, but I love the Pacers way more.
No, that's an insane thing to do. Now, if this comment said don't stream, hang out with Big Ange, I'm on board for that. But don't go
love
miss.
The chat way more than Angelo.
Now, if this said don't get a warm Subway tuna fish sandwich and go to Angelo's, then I was waiting for you to say that you like Subway more than me too.
I'm a big Subway guy.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 107, we have the main event of the evening. We have the number 4 woman on planet Earth, Erin Blanchfield, taking on the number 5 woman on planet Earth in Macy Barber. This fight matters very, very much, and people love to complain about the female main events, but the reality is this is essentially a title eliminator. Macy Barber's on a wild win streak right now. Erin Blanchfield has lost to the title challenger in the last title fight. Outside of that, she has looked quite well. Erin Blanchfield is 13-2 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off that main event win over former world champion Rose Namajunas, taking on Macy Barber, 14-2 in her career, 5-0 in her last 5 on a 6-fight win streak. Erin Blanchfield is exactly who we thought she was. There are some holes in the offensive grappling, but what there's not holes in is just general toughness and a willingness to fight. She marches forward, gets in your face, she throws punches, she looks to grapple. Does she have the best takedowns? Absolutely not. Will she continue to try to take you down while taking shots and giving shots? 100%. The comparison can be made that she's like a Mackenzie Dern. She's got better striking than Mackenzie Dern.
Oh.
What? What's the issue with that comparison? Tough as fuck, moves forward, very good grappler. What's the issue with the comparison?
Go ahead, Angelo.
Yeah, I didn't think so. She is like a Mackenzie Dern. She's a better striker than Mackenzie, not as good of a just raw grappler. Mackenzie's grappling is next level. But Erin Blanchfield is a grappler who has no problem getting hit. It will not change her game plan. You cannot break that will. She'll continue to move forward no matter what. She averages around 6 significant strikes landed per minute, 2 takedowns per fight, and she is coming off that win over Rose Namajunas, where she had a pair of takedowns and 9 minutes of control time over a former world champion. She's taking on Macy Barber. Macy Barber's a little more well-rounded. She doesn't have a one specific specialty like we saw on the Blanchfield side. Macy Barber's a solid striker. She's got good boxing. There's wrestling there as well. She's not really a grappler in style, but she's got well-timed takedowns if she needs them. She was able to take down some of the better wrestlers in the division, like Montana De La Rosa, Jessica Eye, Miranda Maverick, Andrea Lee, most recently, Ketlen Chikagi. And her takedown defense is at a mid-level 53%. That could be a problem in this matchup. She's been taken down 12 times in the UFC, including once in her last fight. She's coming off that decision win over Caitlin Chachadian. You may see her as Seminara now listed. She got married. The striking was clean, and so were the takedowns. This is a good fight. I'm looking forward to this fight, and there's some questions in this fight. I do think Erin Blanchfield wins. I do think these odds are appropriate, and I do think the odds obviously could probably be a little bit wider. Because Macy Barber is good. She's well-rounded. She's athletic. She's a very good striker. But I just think Erin's blind forward pressure is going to be a problem. Because Macy's going to try to maintain distance in a small cage. Not going to work. Macy's going to try to stay in the outside. There is no outside when you have Erin Blanchfield just charging forward, trying to get you against the cage. And then Macy's just not going to be as good of a grappler if it ends up on the ground. Maybe Macy can defend some of the takedowns. She's not going to defend all of them. And then on the ground, you do not get back up. Erin might not submit you, but you're not going to go anywhere. Erin Blanchfield's going to be the pick. I think it's pretty straightforward. We might have a couple competitive early rounds with Macy bobbing and weaving and sticking and moving. But once Erin just hits that forward pressure, head down, highs, half closed flow state, Erin's going to take over. So Erin is the pick. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I've been I don't know if there's not very many people I've been up and down on more than a girl like Erin Blanchfield, because I made Manon Farrow my lock of the week against Erin Blanchfield, and I watched that fight and came away from that fight with 2 takeaways. Number one, Manon wasn't who I thought she was, and I tried to warn you guys about that with the Shevchenko fight. Nobody fucking listened, but I had Shevchenko bet on Shevchenko. She dominated that fight. And the other takeaway was, holy shit, is Erin like a fucking tough fucking girl. Like, as you said, nothing discourages her. She's not the most talented striker, but she's going to stay in your face. She doesn't have the greatest takedowns, but she's going to stay in your face. She'll get to the clinch. She'll try to work those takedowns. And if she doesn't work the takedowns, she doesn't get discouraged. She's just going to stay and just strike and just wear you down and weigh you down. And going into that Rose fight, I told people, listen. I know that I had Manon Farrow as my lock of the week versus Erin, but I'm telling you right now that over 5 rounds, Erin is going to beat most girls. I don't care what the fuck happens in the first couple rounds of this fight. Erin will eventually get a takedown, and once she gets a takedown, she's going to take over this fight, and that's exactly what happened. I'm pretty sure I was live streaming the whole thing, and 2 rounds happened, and people were clowning me. I'm like, just wait, guys. I'm telling you, just fucking wait. And then Erin slowly just started working into that fight. And Macy coming off a little bit of a layoff, health issues, whatever it is, never had.
Wait, sorry. Can you expand on the health issues? Because they were like, I might have to retire bad.
Well, I think she's fine now, so it's not that big a deal. But, the biggest thing is she's never had a 5-round fight before, and 5 rounds is a big deal. Erin's been there, done that, and Macy, what she resorts to as her backup plan. Yes, she wants to be the striker, the dynamic person. You know, she came in against Amanda Hebos. Amanda Hebos ragdolled her to the ground. Everyone can take down a girl like Macy. Amanda was taking her down to the ground, was able to eat a head kick and stuff like that, and eventually got finished. But Erin Blanchfield isn't like as sloppy as Amanda Hebos can get at times. But Macy wants to default to the wrestling. She wants to default to the clinching. She can't get held against the fence. I think this is honestly a great matchup for Erin Blanchfield. The lack of experience in the 5-round fights, the wanting to be the wrestler in a lot of fights versus wrestlers that Macy likes to be at times. She likes to try and just bully girls kind of in the wrestling. She's not going to be able to do that against Erin Blanchfield. Even if she gets a takedown against Erin Blanchfield, it's a very dangerous thing to do. You saw Manon do that. Manon picked her up, slammed her down, and was like, holy shit, I'm in this fucking guillotine. I just think the experience for Erin, the tenacity of Aaron, of moving forward with the boxing, and I think she's going to get more takedowns than she has in her past few fights because Macy is probably just going to get worn down. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron's able to find one of those finishes that's kind of eluded her in her last few fights. So as much as I've said that Aaron sucks, and I'm not a big Aaron person, I completely flipped. I was on her versus Rose. She got it done, and I think she gets it done here. And I just think it's a bad matchup for Macy. Macy probably does beat a lot of girls in this division. She's a talented girl. She's a very well-rounded girl, good striker, can wrestle, can grapple. It just feels like in a 5-round fight, this is a bad matchup for her. So Macy coming back after a year layoff and losing to a girl like Erin Blanchfield, I don't think it's really that big a deal. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's a tough thing to come back to. I think she can still beat most girls in this division, and we could see a rematch of this down the road. They're both young prospects, so they might fight 2 or 3 more times in their careers. But as far as in this moment right now, Erin is much more ready for a 5-round fight at this point in both of their careers. It just is what it is, and I'm taking Aaron. And I bet her too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on basically everything. I do think, I don't know the details, but I thought it was like a blood infection or something crazy. Like that medical issue was bad, and I remember her posting,
it was
I may never fight again.
I think it was one of those like she was sick but didn't know why she was sick, and
that's right. In and out of the hospital for like months or something, right?
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of. But I think they figured it out. It was some sort of
like a staph that they couldn't get out of her kind of thing.
No, maybe like a autoimmune disease. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Either way, that is somebody commented autoimmune. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it does. I'm not using it as part of the breakdown because to basically everything Jacob and I said, the forward pressure, the relentlessness of Aaron should be enough to win this fight. But if we do have a Macy that has dedicated her entire life to this, and we know how serious her father is about this as well, that might not quite be ready to come back, but the opportunity is here. You don't want to pass it up. It's a main event. You know, maybe she is coming back a little too soon. I don't know. But these odds were much tighter the other day. They're continuing to widen. I would not be surprised if Erin Blanchfield found herself in minus 400 territory come fight night. I think people are going to look at this card and they're going to say, this is a sketchy fucking card. Well, Blanchfield should win, and the money's just going to go in on her, and those odds are going to go crazy because the rest of this card is tough. But that is the breakdown. If you want to check out the fights, the picks, the bets, the artificial intelligence, all the tools, everything that we have to offer, you can do so now at WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 for an entire month's worth of access. We also have an app. Every single thing that we offer is available inside of the app. Just go to the App Store, search We Want Picks, download the app, turn on push notifications. This morning, I sent you a push notification. Jacob placed some bets. I placed some bets. Bet Sam had some bets on the board. And it's not just for this coming event. Jacob has bets on the board for UFC Baku that he placed 3 weeks ago. Unlock all the picks, all the bets, all the tools.
You know the K silent that, right?
Bau?
Mm-hmm.
It really is UFC Bau?
No, I'm just making it up.
Why would you make that up?
Not making it up. People want us to stay live for the end of this game, and I kind of agree. I got $200 on Thunder money line right now.
How much longer is this game?
I didn't look. Maybe 5 or 6 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. Is it at 4 NFL minutes or four other soccer minutes?
Let me see how much time's left. Hold on. Chet's got 19 and 7. Oop.
Because if the end of this video is like 20 minutes of nothing, that's
like the stream if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's 7 minutes left. Yeah, we're not doing that. It's been an hour.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, check out the website. We've got the fight simulator. We've got the tape index. Listen, ESPN, Jacob. Here's a little quick thing. ESPN deleted thousands of videos. Thousands of UFC fight history videos are gone. Do you think that's related to their contract negotiation, or maybe they're like, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on server space. Let's clean this up.
I don't know. I use a VPN for Fight Pass. I watch all the fights.
Yeah, listen, Fight Pass is going to have to be the way to go because ESPN clearly either heading in a different direction or something, but all the ESPN historical fights have been removed. I don't know if it's temporarily or what. So we're working on the tape index. We're making the adjustments on our side. We also have the brand new DraftKings Optimizer where with the beginner mode, you don't have to know how to use an optimizer. We'll just ask you normal human questions, and you can answer those questions like a regular person, and it'll build the lineups for you.
Chet.
We have the data analyzer where you can deep dive any statistic that you would like. You can stack filters and really place your bets and find your spots using data alone. The data analyzer has all sorts of historical and future fights. If you want to get ahead of the research, you can do so now. Data analyzer is built out through UFC 319. We have a line movement tracker. It's going to give you the opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every fighter on every card. The prop hunter, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And then we have more than just myself and Jacob. We got Bet Sam in the live chat as well. We've got Artem, the regional Rain Man, and we have the artificial intelligence. Every single thing that we offer is only $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Any words for the people before I shut this off?
Tomorrow night, people are going to act like if the Pacers don't win tomorrow night, the series is over. I disagree with that. I think they're going to win, go up 3-1. But we won in MSG. We won the first 2 games in MSG. We went to MSG last year, won in Game 7. We have not shot the ball well the entire series. We were up 20, almost won Game 3. We shot 20% from 3. 5 of 20. We hit 5 3-pointers the entire game. Still should have and could have won that game. I think the Pacers come out, really set the tone, go up 3-1. They go back to New York. New York wins because that is what it is. And then the Pacers are going to win the Eastern Conference, Game 6, while I'm there in Indianapolis with my mom, having the time of our lives. Why is that funny? Sorry you hate your mom.
I thought tomorrow was the mom game, but tomorrow's just the regular one, and you had the courtesy of like.
Yeah, I said it was going to be Pacers in 6 the whole time. It's probably going to be Pacers in 6. We win, we lose, we win.
Well, I'm glad it is because I'm glad it is. For some reason, I thought it was tomorrow, and I was like, oh man. They can't win the whole series tomorrow while he's there.
Yeah, we were never. I mean, nobody ever thought we were going to sweep the Knicks. So to lose Game 3 and we're only up 2-1. It's like, yeah, I just assumed any Pacers fan before the series would have been ecstatic to be up 2-1 going into Game 4.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be 2-1. I thought we were going to drop Game 1, which we probably should have, and then win the next 2. We just happened to win the first 2. We win the last one. We shot 20%. It is what it is. You're not going to win. You're not going to sweep many teams. So Knicks fans are funny, too. They win one game after being down 20. They're like, oh, series over. We won. Like, Knicks fans are actually, and you know better than anybody, like, New York people are so, like, self-centered. They beat Boston, and they were, like, celebrating in the streets like they just won the fucking title. They're fucking, it's like burning shit down and stuff. It's like they won one game, and they're like, we're back, baby. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I think it's just been pent up for 40 years because they've just sucked forever.
Yeah, you always suck. So, I mean, what are you doing? Like, you're getting your hopes up again. That's what they do. Like, it's crazy. They never learn. So, you got the Yankees. Congratulations. Like, there.
I agree. Listen, the Jets fans are the same way. The Jets fans every year are very hopeful, and then it never works its way out. But good luck tomorrow, Jacob. Good luck to the rest of you this weekend, and we'll see you for UFC Vegas 107 content the rest of this week.